Part 196. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1955. At this moment, he no longer just thought that Jia Yan was a star, because facing Jia Yan, he only felt the vastness of the world. Without this mysterious game expert, he knew more people well. This person's knowledge and understanding of cultivation have reached a level that he can't even imagine. That's right, because although every galaxy-level being is strong or weak, their understanding of cultivation or fighting is that everyone reaches the end of a different path. At this level, no one is absolute. Even though he is weak, no one is absolutely strong, so this venerable pinnacle creature is not wrong in his thinking. Get up and get ready to fight. These 3 days, even if it is the fate I gave you. If we are destined to meet in this game, I will pass on your knowledge for 3 days. If we have a chance to meet again in the future, you can ask me questions again. Poof. A voice sounded from the other side. I saw this venerable creature kneeling down on one leg. Master Jia Yan, I need you to treat me like a villain. Now I finally feel that my physical strength has been loosened. And after listening to your explanation for 3 days, I know that you are definitely a top powerhouse that exceeds my imagination. I need your guidance today. I don't ask you to accept me as a disciple, but I also ask you to accept me as a half-disciple. Today I will only accept you as a half-disciple. If I achieve something in the future and dare to meet you, I will definitely come to your door to seek your formal acceptance. I am a disciple, so I ask the teacher for permission. Yes, but before I admit it, in front of outsiders, you can only call me sir. When will your strength and deeds satisfy me, I will accept you as a real disciple. Do you accept this? Accept it, thank you master. The half-star creature no longer had the slightest doubt at this time. Because when Jia Yan was speaking, he really revealed that he was far stronger than the other party imagined, and he also agreed to his request and allowed this venerable creature to be his half-disciple. How could he not be happy? Of course, at this moment, he really wanted to ask, Master, what is your specific strength? But for a strong person, there are many reasons why he doesn't want to reveal his strength, such as not wanting to be plotted against when others know his strength, or not wanting his enemies to find clues. So he didn't dare to ask randomly. If he really asked, Jia Yan might be angry. But for Jia Yan, anger should not be caused, it is just a game. He has not even seen the so-called apprentice in front of him in person. Accepting this creature as his disciple not only promoted the idea of opening up the yin and yang dao, but also on the other hand, Jia Yan saw his former self through this venerable creature. Of course it wasn't him who was stuck at the venerable level, because he hadn't been stuck for so long. He just saw through this creature the image of himself who had been pursuing improvement. Even Jia Yan had a deeper idea than the other party. Otherwise, he would not have found his own new path on his own. Generally speaking, this is not what makes this venerable level creature special. Although his talent is good, in this starry sky, it is probably considered to be above average, not top-notch at all. Jia Yan picked him just because the other party mentioned it and he had some affinity with him. It's a simple reason, isn't it? Okay, now you go out. I taught you 3 days. As long as you can understand the content of these 3 days, it is enough to be my half-disciple. If I meet you again in the future, or you will use these 3 days of my when you have eaten enough, go to the stars and ask for my name. If you can ask, and then go to where I am, then I will continue to be your master, and even officially recognize you as my disciple. Yes, master. Jia Yan didn't even know the name of this venerable creature. He could tell that Jia Yan just taught him casually. Maybe 3 days was not enough to impress Jia Yan and let him know. Own name. After exiting Jia Yan's training room, this venerable level creature quickly walked to the cockpit of the battleship on the side. He is ready to perform well, and if he cannot show his master with his real body outside the game, then he will fight in the game and show his strongest strength, so that the master's sense of him will be better. As for bragging that he is Jia Yan's apprentice, he really doesn't dare, because Jia Yan has said that, which means that he has not really let others know about his relationship with Jia Yan. 3 days passed, and the Earth civilization's spaceship approached the approaching civilization. The neat civilization was named after the half-star powerhouse over there, and it was followed by many battleships around it. Some battleships even reached the level of almost large spaceships, which were several hundred meters long. So huge. As for the Earth civilization, there is no trace of large warships. The largest one is a warship refitted by residents, which is about 100 meters tall. This is because it was rebuilt with a warship captured by Jia Yan. If it is really too late for the Earth civilization to build it on its own in such a short time. They are getting close. Everyone should work hard and train. This is definitely a tough battle. Be careful not to die at the beginning. Yes. On the Earth civilization side, everyone is extremely dignified. Everyone knows that this is a grand battle, and the loser is likely to be Earth civilization. The newcomers have not yet fully adapted to the emotions in the game, and their sense of belonging to the Earth civilization is not very strong. Moreover, the Earth civilization has to fight such a terrible civilization. Many players have begun to give up on themselves, even if they are determined to fight, but entering the game is just for training. They would rather not go online and just play outside at home or have other entertainment. In this way, no one can really control them. Therefore, the absenteeism rate of Earth civilization has been relatively high recently. Everyone must go online the day after tomorrow. The day after tomorrow should be the day when we fight against the neat civilization. If you don't go online, you won't be able to enjoy the results of that war. Several captains are earnestly teaching their subordinate combat team members. Even if they are not in the order of battle, they are still taught by their superiors. After all, fighting with other civilizations is not just a matter of battleships. It tests everything of the entire civilization, as well as all logistics and other issues. Everyone is not useless, and even because we don't know who will come online, we need to be very flexible in calling everyone. This requires the strong coordination of Aditya, the master, and computing coordination capabilities. But unfortunately, Edisha is the embodiment of an intelligent brain, so she naturally has such ability, and she does it in an orderly manner. Everyone, I like to arrange several kinds of agency work. When the time comes, if there is a shortage of people in any position, I can temporarily send people to come over, and the overall system will not cause problems. Well done, I really wouldn't be able to do this without you. Jia Yan and Edisha had a brief conversation in the ruler's office that day. In fact, it would be fine even if they didn't talk. Jia Yan was prepared. If the war got serious this time, he would use his true body to make some small moves. Qtasha probably still wants to play this game well, because the 2.5-star level civilizations have just lured one of them. If they kill each other too quickly, they will kill each other too easily. Then it would be a waste of effort for another semi-stellar civilization to start playing hide-and-seek with them, or engage in other tricks. Moreover, there are risks involved in Jia Yan's real body making small moves. After all, Jia Yan said that he was almost able to mutate successfully, but in fact it was just a little bit close. If something happened, the two of them would be the unlucky ones. Of course, Jia Yan didn't want to use his real body, so he had a little talk with Edisha about personnel matters, war control methods, and how to deal with the results of the war. The battle must be fought, and the win must be won, because if Jia Yan has to use his own cheating methods and still doesn't win, doesn't it mean that his galaxy-level existence is too useless? Therefore, if the battle begins, Jia Yan will never let the war fail. After discussing for a while, Jia Yan also talked a little bit about the half-apprentice to Aidisha. Oh, sir, did you actually leave the seeds of yin and yang here? But I think it's okay. Scatter a few seeds of yin and yang near the central area of the Milky Way, just like the central flowering, maybe the opening of yin and yang. If the branches are scattered, they will fall on this master's disciple. It's hard to tell that Aditya agrees very much with Jia Yan's behavior, and thinks it's a good thing to have an apprentice here. Haha, it's hard to say. This kid probably doesn't have that much ability, but this incident reminded me that if I want Yin Yang Dao to bloom, I need to continue to accept such apprentices. Of course, they can't be formal apprentices directly. But we need semi-apprentices like this venerable creature. In the future, the Orion arm may not become similar to the holy land of Yin and Yang. Jia Yan smiled slightly. After saying something to Edisha again, Jia Yan stopped talking to it. There's nothing much to say, but if the top two Earth civilizations don't communicate before such a war, the members below will definitely feel a little weird. In this way, another 2 days passed. On the third day after Jia Yan came out of seclusion, the battleships and spaceships of the two major civilizations finally met. Close. Is that neat and civilized? Oh my god, there are so many battleships and such a huge spaceship. Can we really win? Impossible, how could we win? This, no, let alone the number of warships here, even the number of their warships is greater than the number of our personnel. 30,000. 50,000. How can a civilization have so many battleships? We can't win if we can't win. I thought our Earth civilization was really strong, but now I see that the enemy's warships alone and the size of the enemy's warships can completely crush us. How can we win? Every member of the Earth civilization is a little desperate after seeing the shadow of the enemy. Even the members who followed Jia Yan, created countless miracles along the way, and fought against the strongest enemy now felt a little depressed at this moment. They followed Jia Yan and have always witnessed this strong man leading them to the pinnacle of the game. But now, they are inevitably a little doubtful. Can the Earth civilization really defeat such a terrifying enemy? This is true even for these old members, let alone those who have just joined the Earth civilization. The online rate today is actually not low at all. After all, for such a big event, even players who have not trained hard before will come to see the situation. Even if they cannot be the protagonist, they can at least become a small supporting role, that is, a role. Being killed is also a sense of ritual. Therefore, the number of players on Earth civilization side has reached an unprecedented 30,000. But the number of 30,000 members is nothing compared to the 50,000 battleships. Ha ha ha, Earth civilization really dares to send it to us like a fool. Hurry up and surrender. You are so stupid. You dare to come and fight with our neat civilization. The total number of personnel is not as large as our battleships, let alone the quality. With your level, you want to fight with us, just like it's like seeking death. Ha ha ha, let me see, our civilized master Lily is giving you face, otherwise we would send a squadron and kill you easily, but we actually used the entire army, I think so highly of you. Master Lily is still like this. He respects any opponent. You have to thank our Master Lily. Among the large number of battleships on the other side, many battleship commanders directly use the public channel to make a lot of damage and belittle remarks to the members of the Earth civilization here, as if they were fighting for their hearts. Of course, most of their words are quite correct. Because the Earth civilization is indeed too weak, it is normal for the enemy to look down on this side. Look at the number of battleships, and look at the quality of the battleships. Earth civilization has not yet fully reached the scale of high-end battleships. A battleship is only 1/3 the size of an enemy's battleship. One cannon shot will turn the warships on the Earth civilization side into rubbish. As for Earth civilization, a single shot from the main cannon may not even be able to break through other people's defenses. This is a level of suppression, not to mention that there is still such a huge gap in numbers between the two sides. No matter who sees it, they will feel a sense of despair. This, this, they actually underestimate us. No matter, even if there is a gap, I don't want to be underestimated. That's right, we are from the Earth civilization. If they have the ability, they can actually form a squadron. Under the leadership of Mr. Jiayan, we will not defeat them. If you underestimate us, don't come to the whole army. If the whole army comes, it shows that you are simply afraid. Yes, coming to the whole army shows that they are also afraid. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1956. Bastards, as for the civilization that you still claim to be a half-star powerhouse, it's better to be like us. You are as timid as mice. It can be seen that your half-star powerhouses are nothing. Curse in a low voice, these neat and civilized people are all petty. Didn't you hear that one of the members of our Earth civilization was killed by the other party's neat and civilized strong men? That's realistic. What am I afraid of? My elders are also half-star level. If he has the ability, he will come and kill him. Haha, but I have checked. I am far away from the star field where Lily is. If he has the ability, he will pay a lot of money to come to me. Star territory, come here to see if my ancestor doesn't blow him up. In the Earth civilization, there are also some confident beings. Even if they are not strong enough, they have elders at home. After all, there are many strong people in this starry sky, which means there are also many ordinary creatures who are somewhat involved with the strong people. Although if Lilia goes to that player's star field, it is not certain whether the player's elders and powerful men will come forward to fight, but Lilia will not go to that player's starfield just because of such a small insult. Not only is the cost high, but there is also a certain risk in fighting a strong person of the same level, and the gain outweighs the loss. But not every member of the Earth civilization has so many connections with powerful people, so when most members heard that the other party's powerful people were so untrustworthy and went out to kill people in reality, they suddenly became silent and did not dare to say anything more. At the very beginning of the contact between the two sides, it was with this kind of exchange of words that the Earth civilization lost not only in terms of numbers, but also in terms of momentum. Haha, listen, all civilizations on Earth are scared. So they say they are just a group of weaklings. They say we went out to kill them in reality. Maybe they said it deliberately to win sympathy. Our neat and civilized people are not like this. That's right, you still want to slander us. On the other side of the neat civilization, it is absolutely impossible to admit that there are people who go to kill people from the Earth civilization in reality. Not only will that cause trouble, but also to admit that they are afraid of the Earth civilization on a certain level, and they are not willing to take the blame. Moreover, it is true that most neat and civilized creatures do not know the inside story of this matter. The two sides were still engaged in a war of words. On the other side of the Earth civilization, there was a creature who did not join in the war of words at all. He silently led a group of subordinates behind him and passed in front of the spaceship members. Under their extremely respectful expressions, with gazes and salutes, they entered the port where the battleship docked. Tread. Jia Yan stepped onto his modified battleship and entered it directly. Okay, everyone, let's get on the battleship. I hope I can chat with you after this war. Before closing the cockpit door, he said this to a group of Earth civilization warrior players below who were waiting for him to enter the cabin door before entering their own battleship. We also hope to see Master Jia Yan again. We can definitely meet. We have the joint tactics taught by adults, so we shouldn't die so quickly. Each of the players was not as serious as the soldiers in real life, but some of them liked to talk and were bold enough to start joking on the spot. Okay, I wish you all good luck in martial arts. Jia Yan closed the cockpit glass of the battleship. Then, the battleship he was driving took the lead and rushed out of the passage from inside the Earth civilization spacecraft. Boom boom. Above the sky, a relatively small-looking battleship suddenly rushed out from inside the Earth civilization spacecraft. Coming. Is that the so-called Lord Jia Yan's battleship? Half-star level? What should I do? Although there is only one battleship, I am actually nervous. Don't look, this battleship is nothing. A half-star strong person is also a living thing, not to mention he is not here in person. The player character's strength should not be that strong. Let's be careful and follow the tactics in advance. Come on, you will never lose. That's right, last time he was able to kill 4 at once, killing all the masters of the 4 major civilizations. But the master of our civilization is a half-star existence like him. How can he kill him? We must be winner. Be prepared to kill this small Earth civilization in one go and show off the power of my neat civilization. Kill. On the other side, I saw a battleship rushing out of the Earth civilization. All the enemies knew that this was the biggest and most terrifying opponent in their trip, a suspected half-star star. The strong man. Facing such a battleship, no one dares to underestimate it anymore. We have more than 50,000 warships, and 30,000 warships have carried out subspace blockade according to the methods of previous exercises. A large number of matrix blockade methods can blockade almost to the depths of the first level of space. In this way, no matter how terrifying his subspace talent is, and it is no longer possible to move through subspace. Yes. 30,000 warships actually took the form of horns and formed a formation in the starry sky. Although it has no fear at all of other creatures or battleships of the Earth civilization, this neat civilization knows that it must not be looked down upon when facing a half-star powerhouse. What's more, the previous events have also proved that, Master Jia Yan of the Earth civilization has the strength to face the joint efforts of the 4 major civilizations and defeat them with almost tens of thousands of people. They will definitely not look down upon such a being. So before the war, they had more than half of their warships practice tactics on how to block subspace, and they used the military's special force that was brought by the half-star powerhouse to block subspace. Method: this is an extremely effective thing. When faced with a being with good subdimensional talent, it can almost block the opponent's strength to a very small range. Jia Yan's strength is at the subdimensional level, at least this is how it has been shown in the past battles. Therefore, they feel that as long as the secondary space is blocked, Jia Yan's strength may be restricted by them to a large extent. At least in the fight between this suspected semi-star level existence and his own master, that is, the Master Liliu, this half-star level enemy may not be able to use the space talent last time, and was given a blow by Mr. Liliu. Kill with breath. And Jia Yan has a big disadvantage, that is, he doesn't have any trustworthy partners around him. In the Liliu civilization, there are 6 venerable level creatures, but in the Earth civilization? Although it is said that the Earth civilization seems to have a venerable level, no one knows whether this venerable person exists. Even if he exists, how can he be 1 against 6? Not to mention that the number of warships differed by tens of thousands. No one can see the possibility of Earth civilization winning in this war. Oh, this Jia Yan is not sloppy at all, he just ran out to fight, but I also like such a strong man. If we hadn't met under such circumstances, maybe we could all become friends. Maybe. In that neat civilization, he was neatly dressed and ready to go, and he felt like a turtle-like monster. He asked his subordinates to help him pack his luggage, packed it up, and then slowly went to his battleship. Yes, he is going to fight too. Even if he fights a half-star strong person, the risk is high for him, but Lily is half-star after all, and the enemy has sent out half-star creatures, so he has to deal with the enemy due to circumstances and reasons. Otherwise, to use the lives of subordinates to kill a half-star game character, I don't know how many manpower it takes. Of course, he also knew that if he died, the entire neat civilization would perish. In that case, it would be better to let his subordinates die and then kill Jia Yan with their own lives. But his self-esteem as a strong man, and a little bit of pride in being the dominant player in this game, made him unwilling to give up his journey of pretending. He had forgotten that he was only a star and a half, and in this vast starry sky, he was just a younger brother. Perhaps, this is why many semi-star level beings like games, because in these worlds, they can find the pleasure of becoming top-level beings. After all, existences that are stronger than half-star level generally do not enter the game. They are very busy with external affairs on weekdays, and they want to experience the thrill of becoming a top powerhouse. This is their status in the outside world, and what do you experience by entering the game? Master Lily actually wants to give the other party a fair chance despite such an advantage. He is simply the most powerful being in the world. That's right, Mr. Lily is so fair and generous. With his magnanimity, he will be able to become a star in the future. Ha ha ha, Mr. Lily, I hope you can become a star-level existence, and remember our brothers who are fighting against the world with you in the game. Amidst a lot of flattery, Liliu entered his battleship with great enjoyment. This is a very exaggerated and gorgeous battleship. It seems that the scientific nature of the battleship is not considered at all, but only the handsomeness and beauty of the battleship are taken into consideration. Jia Yan, right? I'm here. With words that were very conceited and a bit final and booze-like, he opened the public communication channel and spoke calmly to the outside world. Oh! In the distance, Jia Yan also heard the sound. How dare you call me by my name and say that he is here? Just for this sentence, I used my body to blow him to death in one breath. No matter what he said, he didn't make sense. He was so disrespectful to a galaxy-level being. But after thinking about it, he didn't do this because it was indeed a bit too exciting for a galaxy-level being. There is just a small ant in front of him. If he gets angry, then even if he loses, even if he is blown to death, Jia Yan will be a little embarrassed. So he endured it? Of course, if this guy continues to seek death, then he won't care so much. A half-star creature, who should be a guy with a good mind, can actually meet such a top-notch person. Therefore, no matter what level of powerhouse he is, there will be a certain chance of meeting a fool. Jia Yan was speechless when he saw that the opponent's warship was actually a gorgeous-looking product that did not consider much of its combat effectiveness. I'm already at galaxy level, and I didn't even think of doing these tricks. You're only at half-star level, so how can you pretend to be in the game? Jia Yan was speechless. He was imagining that this guy would probably have the completely opposite attitude in reality, because the more such a person is, the crazier he is on the internet or in the game. Anyway, such a being is so stupid that there is nothing to communicate with. Jia Yan is even thinking that the apprentice he just accepted will reach the star level in the future. This half-star level creature may still be a half-star level. This is the perception of a super strong person. Generally speaking, their perception is extremely accurate, because at the first glance they can see many things about a weak creature, including the inner part. In that case, I'm going to try my hand at this guy. Anyway, my character in this game is just a weakling, so it should be quite interesting. Jia Yan smiled slightly. He now plays this game as a real game. If it were serious, all the warships present would be completely wiped out with just one brainwave power. Jia Yan started his warship and swam forward in a kind of snake-like state. But just as he approached the airspace where the battle was taking place, Jia Yan was slightly startled. Because he saw that more than half of the huge enemy army flying towards him showed some weird shape and spread out in all directions. Then, each of the scattered warships occupied a huge space, and then one by one, they joined forces to transmit a certain signal. Buzz. After an instant, the entire subspace was disturbed by the joint interference of these battleships, causing chaos in an instant. The interior of the subspace is very chaotic. The endless distortion and annihilation make the subspace into a state that cannot be easily entered. This is very similar to the trick played by the four major civilizations last time, but this time the 30,000 battleships are much more than the last time, and they are using a joint chaos subspace plan that was brought in from the outside world. Also works much better. I see, I said he was a fool, but in fact he was not that stupid. He messed up my subspace talent first. This is a bit of a headache. Jia Yan looked at the scene from a distance and really had a headache. Because the body of his game character is not even at full level, many of the 50,000 battleships opposite him are more advanced than him. Just using the battleship driving skills to fight, he will always be unable to fight with 2 fists and 4 hands. Nowadays, the biggest reliance, that is, the subspace talent, is somewhat restricted by the opponent. Jia Yan has even fewer advantages. But, if the game is not difficult at all, how can it be fun? Haha, don't you let me enter the subspace? I really won't enter. Let's see how you can stand me. Jia Yan smiled slightly. Now, his real body has more energy to focus on the character in this game. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1957. Moreover, Jia Yan's previous body as a character in this game was too weak, so he had to fight with his subspace talent. Although he is not a full-level game character now, he is still at the heaven level. Jia Yan was already very strong when he was at the heaven level, not to mention that now his character is controlled by him who has reached the galaxy level. Jia Yan can make the real body use more energy to play this game character, and the combat effectiveness is also extremely impressive. At that moment, he did not think of any other way to enter the subspace. Instead, he took up the battleship and charged in the direction of the enemy's 50,000 battleships. Huh? He couldn't find a way to enter the sub-row, so he just rushed here. No way, isn't this going to death? Is it possible that this Jia Yan is not a strong man at all, but a fool? You're out of your mind. You know you're going to lose, so you give up on yourself. Regarding Jia Yan's actions, the other party's troops expressed complete understanding. Not to mention them, even the people on the Earth civilization side couldn't understand. Everyone was shocked why Jia Yan didn't think of a way to break through the enemy's subspace blockade, but instead used extremely weak battleships to rush in like that. To an army of tens of thousands. No matter, kill him. Inside the opponent's battleship, each of the commanders roared angrily. Because most of the warships are blocking the subspace, and because of the blockade of the subspace, their hulls are all twisted, causing them to attack completely. So at this moment, the warships that can attack Jia Yan's side, there are only less than 20,000 ships. But even if there are less than 20,000 ships, it is still extremely terrifying firepower. Especially when at least 5,000 of them launched a concentrated fire attack on a single battleship like Jia Yan, the whole world was like a barrage of gunpowder. I can't imagine how big the scale of this game is, making such a war feel like a real war. Well done. Jia Yan was not too shocked. After all, the wars and artillery fire he had seen were much more terrifying than this. Hundreds of millions of warships were dispatched together. Compared with the current battle, it was like child's play. And he wasn't stupid, so he didn't go to subdimensional space to attack directly. Boom. Large areas of light jetted from the battleship arrived in front of Jia Yan's lonely battleship. Jia Yan piloted the battleship, extremely calm, and found life in the countless rays. Using my own real body analysis ability, plus the certain evasion ability of this battleship, it is very simple to find a way out. That's right, don't forget, Jia Yan has his real body behind him. Moreover, The large area of gunfire from the opponent's warships is said to be a salvo, but in fact, the distance between them is still a little. The salvos of 5 or 6,000 ships cannot achieve true coverage at all. To a galaxy-level being, such a salvo is like no salvo at all. So Jia Yan piloted his battleship and made the first move. After dodging the first wave of attacks, everyone in the battleship group who was still firing salvos was dumbfounded. Boo-hoo-hoo. Endless rays of light passed by me, but the battleship piloted by Jia Yan was like passing through thousands of flowers without a single leaf touching it. How could this happen? Why was he able to dodge? We were shooting in volley. Impossible. Can he dodge such a combined attack? Is this the vision of a half-star powerhouse? Jia Yan's speed in driving the battleship is not very fast, and he does not use many super skills to avoid it. What he is showing now is the kind of calmness that makes others unbelievable. He moves slowly and avoids it all at once. The light coming from the fire seemed to be an agreement between the two parties, and the battleship group here was cooperating with his actions. Of course, even if they want to cooperate here, it is rare to be able to cooperate so seamlessly. But this is not acting or anything, every member of the neat and civilized people here knows it very well. That was the enemy, this half-star creature, who was simply too powerful. What kind of dodge is this? Even the man who rushed forward and wanted to show off his neatness was a little shocked at this time. As someone who is a semi-star existence himself, he is different from others. Even if he is also half-star, he is thinking, can he achieve the level of the other party? They still use the game to solve the body and control it. He came to the conclusion that it was not possible. What kind of strength is Jia Yan? Is it really a half-star level that is slightly higher than my half-star level strength? But regardless of him, as long as he is not a half-star in the same star field as me, star level, I don't have to be afraid. Could it be that a half-star powerhouse would really travel all the way to trouble me in the star field where I am for the sake of grudges in the game? He sneered, since they were all half-stars anyway, he wasn't worried about the other party's retaliation at all. If they were creatures from the same star field, he would be more cautious, but Jia Yan was obviously not from their star field, so he had nothing to be afraid of. A star and a half-star existence would not go to another one for no reason. In the star territory, chasing and killing the semi-star level experts in that star territory would be like slapping someone in the star territory. Even more powerful people would not be able to tolerate it. If you want to compete with me in the game I play, it depends on whether you have the strength now. This neatly drove the battleship and quickly approached the battleship area where Jia Yan was located. At least more than 10,000 rays have attacked Jia Yan, but they haven't killed him yet. Stop shooting. It's a waste of energy. We can just go over and kill his subordinates. Yes, Master Liliu has gone over to deal with him personally. Let's not get in the way. Although they are all at the semi-star level, Master Lily's strength in the game has already reached the top level. According to intelligence, the strength of Jia Yan's game character has just reached level 20. This is the gap. Ha ha ha, level 20? Even I am better than him. It can be seen that he was able to obtain those results before because he has the subspace talent. Now the subspace talent has been blocked by us. Look, he still has any solution. Just like the civilized creatures on Earth believe in Jia Yan, the neatly civilized creatures here also believe in their master. They didn't even think that Lord Lily would die in the battle with Jia Yan, and they also thought about not letting the Earth civilization's spaceships and battleships escape, because this was the source of military exploits. Therefore, a large number of battleships separated from the battleship group and then merged into the team that was chasing down the Earth civilization battleships. The distance between the two sides is getting closer and closer. Volley. When the Earth civilized warship finally couldn't help but face the influx of a large number of enemy warships, a commander suddenly gave orders to the battleship's gunfire console. Puff. The battleship team of the Earth civilization has reached this situation today, except for Jia Yan, who actually fired the first shot. But in the face of so many enemies, the more than 1,000 warships of the Earth civilization are like a drop in the bucket and feel almost useless. But something happened that made everyone on the battlefield feel extremely shocked. That is the warships of the Earth civilization. Each one of them has the help of a god. After firing a ray, it actually has extraordinary movement capabilities. Whoosh! In an instant, the battleships of the Earth civilization seemed to have teleported and left the place together. The bullets from the enemy's attack seemed to have penetrated a heavy fog, and almost did not hit the Earth battleship. Even if they did hit, they were scratches, resulting in no major damage to the Earth battleship. This and this are actually intact. What kind of tactics do Earth civilization's battleships use? Why does this speed of movement allow them to break through the movement limitations of the battleship itself and become faster? I don't believe it. This must be a bug in the game. How could they have this ability? This is very similar to the regular fighting method of some armies, and the general army does not have it. Even after the soldiers in the army retire, it is impossible to simply imitate this tactic. Why do they actually do it? At this time, all members of the fleet that were fighting neatly between civilization and Earth civilization were endlessly shocked. The strength of the Earth civilization fleet, in fact, before they came to fight, they had actually tested the combat effectiveness of the Earth civilization. They knew very well that the combat effectiveness of the Earth civilization was not high enough. But at this time, they actually saw the Earth civilization moving in such a terrifying way, which frightened them a little. Kill. The Earth civilization fleet's eyes suddenly lit up when they saw that the Yin-Yang Dao war technique on their side was really effective. Every one of their self-confidence has become stronger. Puff puff. The rays of the Earth civilization were shot out one after another. However, although there is a joint strategy, Jia Yan did not teach them the real yin and yang Tao, so the combat effect is limited. In addition, the technology of the Earth civilization is also limited, and it is difficult to strengthen the power of the ray with a joint strategy, so the attack power does not have any promote. When attacking the enemy in this way, if the opponent's warship's defense is strong, it will not do any damage at all. Hoo! Bang! Occasionally, an enemy warship explodes, but there is also a warship that explodes on the Earth civilization side. In this way, the battle-loss ratio seems to be the same, but the number of warships of the Earth civilization is too small. If this continues, the warships of the Earth civilization will definitely perish first. Of course, the Earth civilization does not expect to rely on just over 1,000 warships to fight against tens of thousands of enemy warships against them. Their purpose is simple, as long as they can help Jia Yan resolve the enemy among the capable warships. Most of the attacks can be said to have achieved their goals. As for Jia Yan, it was not too surprising that the Earth civilization, with more than 1,000 warships, actually blocked 10,000 enemy warships. Because he already knows the effect of his Yin and Yang Dao combined tactics, even the weaker warriors of the Orion Arm Alliance can have miraculous effects. In the hands of players with better talents in this game, the effect may be worse. With the wonderful performance of the Earth civilization battleships, Jia Yan's pressure was greatly reduced. The warships that besieged him previously numbered more than 5,000. If the number increased, it would cause great trouble to him. However, now that the warships from the Earth civilization are sharing the pressure, he has to face it is still surrounded by more than 5,000 warships. Ha ha ha, Jia Yan, do you know where you went wrong? Do you see it? This is where you went wrong. The master named Lilia was driving his warship towards Jia Yan while mocking Jia Yan unscrupulously. You know what? Your biggest mistake is that you are too conceited. In this game, you know that I am a semi-star existence, but you still dare to provoke me. What is even more wrong is that you, when the civilization is not strong enough, it will attack me. Ha ha ha, I can probably guess that your strength in reality should be that the average half-star level cannot compare to that kind of half-star level, so when I heard about the other half-star levels in the game, I felt a little dismissive. But this is where you have to lose. Games and reality are different, and it's not okay to look down on another person of the same level. Even in reality, if you face a person of the same level, if you dare to look down on the other person, will also fall into a life and death crisis. Do you understand? I am not only pointing out your mistakes, but also teaching you how to be a person in the future. Are you very grateful? Do you think I am a reborn parent? Ha ha ha, you're welcome. Facing the other party's clamor, Jia Yan smiled slightly. A half-star level creature teaching a galaxy level creature sounded like a joke, but Jia Yan actually endured it. However, it seems that he is not completely forbearing. Although Jia Yan is smiling, there is a trace of unusual look in his smile. Jia Yan was still a little angry. How dare such a half-star to roar at him and laugh at him at length. Haha, it turns out that I didn't intend to pursue you for killing members of my Earth civilization in reality, but you actually committed suicide on your own, so don't blame me. Jia Yan smiled slightly. For him, he has no idea of revenge against the members of the Earth, because he has no feelings for the members of the civilization. But he was so stubborn, and the other party actually used words to push him so hard, then he could only blame this guy for seeking death. Perhaps the players here think that playing games is just playing games. No matter what, others can't actually kill his real body, right? Unfortunately, I have studied a lot these days and know about this game. Being able to gather the minds of so many actual players in real time, there must be some backdoor, so the day before yesterday, when I was chatting with the Venerable Disciple, I just thought of an experimental plan to deal with the players. Since this is a neat way to seek death, then, the first test subject is you. Jia Yan sneered, and then he continued to drive his battleship and bully him. He doesn't have much subspace talent. After being able to focus more on the game character, the current game Jia Yan, even though his energy strength is weak, the overall strength he can burst out is extremely terrifying. After all, his true form is a galaxy level. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1958. Well done. Jia Yan, let me show you that in the game, being strong is not absolute. Boom. Before Lily, there were other warships attacking Jia Yan. Sigma Pine set membership symbol, Apple set membership symbol, novel. But Jia Yan seemed to be completely unconcerned and ignored the attacks of these battleships. Of course, it may look like ignorance, but it is not. When he was flying the battleship had been moving irregularly. The rays and small gunfire that came from the battleship seemed to have rubbed against his battleship, but they miraculously completely passed him by. It's like the two sides are acting together, it's extremely fake. Of course, even if you want to act, both parties must be very powerful. It's like people on Earth acting against guns. Both sides rub each other's cheeks and shoot. How many powerful masters are needed to do this? So Jia Yan's passing feeling was because he was avoiding. And it is true that in this game, the strength of the game characters is generally not strong. Even if they reach the top level 30, they are only equivalent to the peak of the outside world. Such a strong person, even a galactic level strong person, can only do a lot of things in the game based on the strength of the game character. Even Jia Yan is like this. The actual reason why he is able to dodge so many artillery fires now is because his true body is in this battlefield area, watching the progress of the war. Under the watchful eye of a galaxy-level being, in this battlefield, how could any small detail escape his eyes? Huh? You can dodge this, just look at my cannon fire. On the other side, the man who clearly sensed Jia Yan's avoidance showed a trace of shock in his eyes. Because he felt that even with the body of his game character, it would be difficult for him to do such a thing. I used to think that Jia Yan relied on his subspace talent to thrive in this game, causing so many civilizations to perish as if he alone had defeated them. But looking at it now, even if Jia Yan doesn't enter the subspace, is he still so terrifying? This is impossible. If it were me, I wouldn't even dare to say that I could achieve his mobility. He neatly showed a little bit of heart palpitations. However, a half-star powerhouse is still a half-star powerhouse. Even though he was slightly shaken in his heart, he did not show it in his words or in his actions. A semi-star powerhouse, even in Jia Yan's eyes, is nothing, but in this starry sky, he is still a good powerhouse, even if he serves as the manager of a certain city in some star fields. Are all normal things. But when such a strong man was playing a game, he encountered a being that he couldn't even see through. Liliu is a little suspicious, but also a little calm. The education just now seemed not to the point. Humph, no matter what, you are only a star and a half at most. How can a star come to play a game? So I won't be afraid. He figured it out neatly. At this juncture, he had no doubts. Puff. Immediately, the strong man Lily launched his first attack in this war. Can't you bear it anymore? Jia Yan could not help but smile slightly when he felt the attack of Liliu's gorgeous battleship in the distance. Half-star level is half-star level. Although Lily is already much better than other player creatures in some aspects, it is still easy for him to see Lily's panic and lack of confidence. A strong person can see all aspects of a weak person's mentality, and Jia Yan easily grasped his mentality. This attack is quite powerful. After Jia Yan felt the attack, he understood. The neat attack plan was to take advantage of the gap after Jia Yan avoided the attacks of other warships to shoot at the vital points of his warship. It has to be said that the attack power of a half-star level was instantly raised to a higher level. In addition, although Liliu's battleship is not good looking, its weapon system is indeed good, and its attack energy is a level higher than that of other battleships. Therefore, if Jia Yan is hit, the defense of the ordinary battleship he is driving will definitely be defeated instantly. Something went wrong. Watch where you run. Lily is also full of confidence in the effect of this blow. In his opinion, both he and the other party were at half-star level, and it was difficult for Jia Yan to deal with his own attacks, let alone with the support of other battleships. But what he didn't expect was that Jia Yan's battleship turned around smoothly as it approached the neat battleship, as if it had anticipated his attack. This clever turn seems to be natural. But when he turned around, he narrowly avoided the sharp attack fire. How could it be a coincidence? For a moment, he was stunned. But just when he was stunned, a beam from Jia Yan's battleship was already shooting in his direction. Jia Yan's understanding of a weak person's mentality has reached an exquisite level, and he even grasped the shock of being neat at this moment. So he seized this opportunity to attack the rays that appeared, and his shots were sure to be flawless. Puff. Defense. Liliu quickly let his battleships support the strongest defense. Otherwise, it is the top battleship in this game. The battleship he piloted seemed to have no defensive blind spots at all. The defensive shield that was put up in an instant withstood Jia Yan's ray attack in 1 second. Oh, the defense of this battleship is quite good. If you kill him in the future, you can open it for me to see. Jia Yan smiled. Of course he was joking. If he killed this Liliu, it is estimated that another half-star level existence would not dare to engage in any war with him, and would even guess the identity of his super top powerhouse. If he is still like that, it's boring. Even if Jia Yan knocks on the door and says he disrespects the strong, he can kill the half-star directly. Therefore, even if Jia Yan wants to drive a neat battleship, he has no chance. This war, even after it is fought, the whole game is over. This is the influence of a top powerhouse. After all, he has come to participate in the game. If he reveals his identity, if the civilizations in the game dare to continue playing, they will really disrespect the powerhouse. Jia Yan. How did you do it? His sharp eyes were sinister, even though he was still calling Jia Yan by his name, but at this time, he was becoming more and more confused, and in his words, when he called Jia Yan, he was not so loud. But the guilt of calling him out like this has increased again. It was clear that deep down in his heart, he began to doubt that Jia Yan was a strong man of more than half a star level, yet he actually dared to call Jia Yan by his first name. When I didn't know, calling Jia Yan by his name was fine, even if he was a good-tempered zinc level person. But when he began to doubt in his heart that Jia Yan was stronger than a half-star level person, he still dared to call Jia Yan by name. Then there is one more reason to kill him. How did I do it? You can go to hell and ask. Jia Yan also turned cold at this time. Despite the various strengths he has shown, this guy is still stubborn. A smarter person will definitely be able to guess that he is stronger than a semi-star powerhouse. This is simply intentional. So he became popular too. Boom. An instant later, Jia Yan's battleship quickly approached the semi-star. What's wrong? Liliu, weren't you still giving me advice and trying to educate me just now? What about now? Why run away? It turned out that after Liliu saw Jia Yan's warship approaching his own warship, he hurriedly fled back. He was depressed. How could he pretend to be so good? If Jia Yan was hiding inside the main spacecraft, it would not be easy for Jia Yan to break into his main spaceship, even if he was stronger than half a star. Let's not mention whether his assumption is correct, but at least he is not inside the spacecraft. This assumption is not true in the first place. Chia, Your Excellency Jia Yan, we are just playing a game. If you want to be angry, it is wrong. So neat, he actually wanted to give advice to Jia Yan at this moment. Okay, very good, neat. I finally understand why you give up your status as a semi-star level existence and why you still go to the game to find a sense of presence. With such a character, you can still survive until now, which means you are lucky. Jia Yan almost laughed out of anger at him. Well, Your Excellency Jia Yan, if you are unhappy, I can stop my attack and you quit. Can't we play games together in the future? We can sign a never attack clause. If we win the game in the future, we will be the first together name. Liliu is still thinking about the game. You don't need to think so much. The first place belongs to me, so you don't have to give in. Jia Yan had a cold face and directly said the word I. In this starry sky, those who dare to say I have generally reached the galaxy level. Even if they exist at the star level, they dare not directly say the word I in a big scene. Of course, it depends on the situation. There are also some star-level people who are thick-skinned and are not afraid of people laughing at them, and they are not afraid of galactic-level people making trouble. They go around saying that they are the true deity. As soon as these two words were spoken, his neat expression changed. Dare to call himself this way, which shows that Jia Yan has confirmed his identity, and the trace of fantasy in Li Luo's heart has completely disappeared. Puff. Jia Yan's battleship attacked, and a beam landed on the neat shell of the battleship. His battleship has strong defense, but Jia Yan's battleship's ray attack has been a steady stream of attacks, which makes him a little bit unbearable. Jia Yan, sir, don't be angry, we are just playing games. Li Luo was already panicking. He didn't dare to talk about the game. Shenzi already thought in his heart that he would definitely lose to this strong man. Now all he wanted was for this strong man not to cause real trouble for him. After all, even if Jia Yan is thick-skinned and courageous, he dares to publicly say that he is his self, he is at least a star. Then such a star-level existence, even if it is far away from Lily, he really wants to pursue it? If so, run to the starfield where Liliu is located. The senior officials of his starfield have long been dissatisfied with Liliu and will definitely hand over Liliu to this star-level fellow. Of course, this situation is still relatively rare, and the status of the stellar class is not as high as that of the Orion arm. But if we really want to pursue it, he will be unlucky after all. Therefore, it is easy to obey softly. Are you playing games? Now you admit that you are playing games. Didn't you just say that you taught me how to be a good person, and even said that what you taught me would be useful in reality? Jia Yan sneered even more. At this time, the two warships had completely rushed together. The neat and civilized warships in the distance did not dare to attack at all, because they were afraid of attacking the neat warships, but instead helped Jia Yan. Each of them had their communications turned on. At this time, some of the more powerful ones, such as the noble-level subordinates, were completely stunned. Because they knew what the communication between Jia Yan and Lilia meant. Especially the words Jia Yan said have gradually revealed the character of a top powerhouse. They began to tremble. Stop, stop fighting, stop. One of the venerables was more straightforward and quickly stopped the warships that were fighting with Earth when IU. On the other side, several venerable-level creatures had just killed quite a few battleships of Earth civilization. After a few words of conversation on the private communication channel, they didn't even care about the war. They quickly logged off and let them go. My own battleship and game characters were so lonely in the starry sky. The changes at this end also made the hundreds of warships still fighting fiercely in the Earth civilization completely stunned for a moment. That's right, there are only a few hundred warships left in Earth civilization. The previous warships of Earth civilization only had more than 1,000 ships when they went into battle. After such a long period of war with great disparity between the enemy and ourselves, it is extremely rare for them to still have more than half of their number left. The enemy is dead again? No, they can still move. Why did they stop attacking us? Could it be that the situation has changed? Over there, look, Lord Jia Yan and the enemy's Dominator battleship are attacking together. Oh my god, the speed of both sides is too fast. Are the battleships they drive really ordinary battleships in the game? No matter how I look at them, they look like good battleships from the outside world. Haha, Mr. Jia Yan actually chased the opponent's master. I seem to have heard that the master of this neat civilization is that neat half-star existence. It's so useless. I thought there was how strong he is. When our Lord Jia Yan is chasing him, he is like a mangy dog, completely powerless to fight back. Keep your voice down. A half-star strong person should not be insulted. He is a half-star. That's right. A group of earthly civilized creatures are all laughing and having fun. Especially in the Earth civilization spacecraft, the battleship group that was still on the edge of the war circle just now, helping the Earth civilization, opened fire and drove away some scattered warships. At this time, seeing that the war had stopped, they all had almost nothing to do and were purely evaluating the battlefield. Some people said not to talk about half-star level creatures, but unexpectedly, a sneer came from beside them. What kind of half-star level? Just watch, Lily's half-star level, his life has come to an end today. The one who spoke was the master of Earth civilization transformed by Edisha Reborn as an interstellar giant Mosquito author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1959. Bang. When a group of Earth civilization players on the other side of the Earth civilization were a little confused about what Edisha said, Jia Yan and Lily on the other side were engaged in a fierce battle in a battleship. Or I shouldn't say it was lively, because Jia Yan took the initiative in the fight between the two sides. Jia Yan's advantage was too great. For him, if his battleship and body were not too weak, he would have cut the opponent in half and become a corpse in the Interstellar. When? Damn it! Once again, he felt that his battleship was hit by Jia Yan's ray, and it was at the same place where it was hit just now. The defensive shield became much weaker in an instant, and Lily almost wanted to curse. But he didn't dare. Because during this war, he felt that Jia Yan was not the half-star he imagined. It was a terrifying existence that was probably beyond half-star level, and he couldn't afford to offend such an existence. "Sir, if I say that now I give up most of the benefits of my neat civilization, will you give up attacking me?" Lily expressed his request in flattering words. When there was another attack, once again accurately landing on the defensive cover of the battleship that had just attacked neatly. Visible to the naked eye, this defensive cover disappeared instantly. "Oh, are you giving up the benefits of cleanliness and civilization?" Jia Yan smiled with some unknown meaning in his battleship. "Yes, sir, I am willing to give up 30% of the mineral resources of my neat civilization, and 30% of the territory in the civilization. If you like it, sir, I will be very happy. If the future comes in the later stage of the decisive battle in the game, I will definitely stand by your side and become your right-hand man, killing the other half of the star-level civilization for you." Liliu thought Jia Yan was thinking about his request, and was immediately overjoyed. He is still here. Did he meet a strong man with a good temper? If it were another strong man, he would not be so easy to talk to. Liliu was just happy when suddenly a ray shot through the place where his defensive shield was broken, and then hit his body. This, sir, how could you? It's almost unbelievable to Liliu. This person who is more powerful than him actually uses sneak attack. Of course, in Jia Yan's eyes, this is nothing more than a sneak attack. He just doesn't want to speak out, chatting with this half-star duo. Even if he dodges, with Jia Yan's eyesight and control, he will definitely hit him with one blow. Where there is no shield. How could I? Haha, this is just the beginning. Jia Yan knew very well that he had not killed Lesuo. Creak. The injured sharp eyes straightened. Because he saw that on the battleship opposite, the battleship's protective cover actually opened, and then the hatch also opened, and a very thin-looking game character jumped out of it. This is what Jia Yan, an Earthling, looks like. He flew straight out of the battleship. "Sir, what do you want to do? Want to kill me with your own hands?" "No, sir, you can't do this. I am one of the former masters of this game. What you do is an insult to my reputation." Liliu believed that Jia Yan wanted to use his game character's body to kill him. "You are mistaken, I am not killing you in the game." When Jia Yan controlled his game character and flew close to the neat battleship. Because it is a body that can reach the heaven level, this game character's body is not balanced in the universe. Puff. Jia Yan came outside the battleship and with one blow, he took apart the shell of the battleship that had no defensive cover. "It is indeed here." Jia Yan smiled slightly, and after taking apart the casing, he discovered the cockpit. The battleship without power and defense cover had no defense at all because it was a problem with the game equipment. As a result, as soon as Jia Yan dismantled it, it was dismantled into the player's game warehouse. Then, Jia Yan stood in front of Lily, who was sitting in the cockpit, looking tired, and the game character was about to die. Looking at this player character, Jia Yan could not see the slightest magnanimity of the players who had dominated this game. After all, he was facing a strong man who was stronger than his real body, and the life of the game character was in the opponent's hands. Lily was really looking at Jia Yan with fear and fear. "Sir, you want to kill me, I can bear it, but please don't target me in reality." "Thank you, sir. I'm just a weak half-star who can't be promoted and uses games to kill time." Liliu finally knew that his game character would never end well. He actually thought that Lord Jia Yan might do something to him outside of reality, so he quickly begged for mercy. "Haha, no, after today, I won't look for you again." Jia Yan smiled slightly and flew close to the injured man, who had almost no signs of a strong man. "Okay, thank you, sir." "Thank you, sir." Liliu was so happy that he thought Jia Yan accepted his request. "Don't be too happy too early. Did I say I won't kill you? Jia Yan flew close to the semi-star. Ah, sir, what do you want to do? This is a game, you can't kill me. Lilo saw Jia Yan getting closer and closer to him, and his eyes were filled with horror. Although he believed that it was impossible to kill him through the game's connection. But at this moment, Jia Yan's behavior caused a not-so-good thought to flash through his heart. Offline. He made a prompt decision and immediately thought of going offline. Buzz. But just when he was about to log off, Jia Yan, who was approaching, was already close to him. A pair of eyes flickered. Well. At this sharp moment, it was not that the character in front of him was flashing his own eyes, but that behind this character, there was an extremely majestic figure, a terrifying figure that enveloped the entire battlefield. Except for him, no other player felt this figure anymore. That's right, at this moment, it is Jia Yan's real body who comes from the depths of subspace who is using the power of brainwaves. The giant mosquito's true form has mutated to more than half, and the brainwave power he uses at this time is just like him under normal circumstances. His strength is terrifying. At least for a star and a half-star existence, it is no different than a god. The difference. Ah! At this moment, Lilio picked up his head as if he had suffered some impact. I want to log off, but I can't. How? How could it be possible? Sir Jia Yan, please spare me, please. The pain was unbearable, and even his body, which was an unknown distance away, felt a sharp pain at the same moment. Ah! Jia Yan stood in front of Lily with a cold face. At the same moment, the game's operations headquarters was in complete chaos. What's going on? The data suddenly became chaotic, and there was such a huge force rushing into the channel. It's impossible. Our channel is built using completely different theories and methods. Why is there energy that can rush into our channel? This is simply impossible. The theory is possible, but those who can do this kind of thing are extremely terrifying strong people, and even strong people who don't understand the principles and communication methods of our channels cannot invade. We expect this kind of crack. It originally took more than 100 years, but I didn't expect that a strong person would be able to crack it now. This. The technician at the operations headquarters looked puzzled. As for the higher UPS, it was also in chaos at this moment. It must be Mr. Jia Yan. He actually had a way to invade our China Unicom network. This is going to be difficult. Hurry up and cut off the internet. It's useless. Our network is not a real network. It is created using a variety of space theories and some super time and space theories. They exist in themselves, and it has nothing to do with whether we can cut them off or not. Here, what should we do now? Is Jia Yan really capable of killing that person neatly through this network? It's like a myth. It's possible, and we don't know how Jia Yan used the method. We just hope that he will give us some face and don't kill him neatly, otherwise our game will be over. Well, I should have known that this galaxy-level being should not have entered the game in the first place. Even if we couldn't defeat him, we could have said that the game needed to be upgraded and shut down the entire game. Now things have become big. Haha, hindsight, did you dare to say that at the time? A galaxy-level existence, if you really said that, maybe they would kill all the games in one go, and it would not be much better than the current situation. Don't fight back and forth. We don't understand what this Lord Jia Yan wants to do. Let's just watch it now. I hope he will let us live later. The people in this conversation were several star-level beings. These few were originally the final anchor of the game, but now, they themselves are in a mess and have no idea what to do. After all, the person causing trouble here is a galaxy-level person. Even if they come together, they can't be defeated by one person. Boom boom boom. At this moment, the entire battlefield was quiet inside and outside. Although everyone said they were extremely shocked and horrified, in fact, their focus was all on the two battleships. Or should I say, at the neat battleship. Jia Yan entered the neat battleship. Why can't I quit the game? Master Jia Yan, please, don't do this. Lily felt that his whole head was shaking, and then large mouthfuls of blood came out of his body. But he couldn't quit the game. At the same moment, a large amount of blood was coming out of his real body. He was terrified and kept begging Jia Yan to show his mercy. But how could he sway Jia Yan with his words like this? This galaxy-level being looked at the semi-star level being in front of him coldly, with a strange color flashing in his eyes. And behind him was the real existence that shone with splendor, a pair of creatures that looked like ancient terrifying behemoths, constantly putting pressure on Lily in the deep levels of distant subspace. This is, seeing. River, ha ha ha, Jew, it's actually Zing, me, I'll die, I won't complain. Puff. When Lily hesitated and said the last words, his game character's head exploded open. Ah, dead, Master Lily is dead. It's impossible. Lord Lily is half a star. How could he die like this? Jia Yan, who is this Jia Yan? My lord seemed to have called him just now, is he seeing, Zeng? Us. Puff puff. One by one, the members of the Lily fleet fell one after another after the death of the Master Lily. Unlike Lily, each of them can return to their true form. After all, Jia Yan will not kill the enemy's true form just because of a game. As for Li Shuo, Jia Yan would not have killed him if he had not been disrespectful to his own galaxy level several times. What's more, he also asked his subordinates to kill real members of the Earth civilization. This is also a bit unpleasant for Jia Yan. The place. But what really made Jia Yan take action was that he was testing his findings. Haha, are you dead? The real body should be dead. Even if he is not dead, he has become an idiot and is considered dead. Jia Yan restrained his gaze. He tested this discovery just to test the attack method he developed after figuring out the connection method of this game. To be honest, this attack method is not only used within this game, but can be used in many places, because this game actually uses some kind of connection method like time and space, which I haven't done a few days ago. I understand, it took me a long time to get the clues of this connection method from the world I've been to before. Haha, if I haven't had the experience of going to another world, I guess even a galaxy-level existence that is stronger than me would have a hard time finding such a connection at Chiyuan. This kind of connection, everyone all, and it may even become one of my trump cards in the future. He looked calm and flew out of the area where he was. Board the battleship, close the hatch, and then slowly drive back in the direction of Earth civilization amidst a vast sea of silent battleship corpses and dead silence. Lord Jia Yan, long live. Long live my lord, I actually won. Let me just say, who is the master? Master Jia Yan will definitely win. Ha ha ha, our entire civilization only lost a few hundred people, but we killed a top gaming civilization. They still had an army of 50,000, so they died in our hands. We can really win. I thought I was dead just now, ha ha ha, long live my lord. The members of the Earth civilization seemed to be very few people within the battlefield of Nyeda, but this group of people broke out like an army of tens of thousands, and everyone was shouting wildly and joyfully. Jia Yan just smiled and returned to the Earth civilization's spaceship. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Buletin Yu. Chapter 1960. The demise of the Neat civilization is a huge blow to the entire simulated wargame operators. #pineapple #said. But the thing that hit them the most was not a relatively weak civilization defeating a very strong civilization, because this is a war between civilizations. The more the weak defeats the strong, the more it should be a game. It is the right propaganda tool. The source of this blow was the news that broke out the next day. The Liliu in the game was actually a semi-star powerhouse who was more than 10 light-years away from the game's operating area. And this semi-star powerhouse died inexplicably at the end of the game. The person who killed him was obviously a very terrifying strong man in a certain article. Although no one dared to say who the strong man was, he died while playing the game, so the operator of the game was sued by Liliu's family, relatives, etc. in court. Although the two sides are separated by more than 10 light-years, because the distance is not too far and they happen to be under the rule of the same galaxy-level being, the legal issues will be quickly accepted. Game operators are beginning to be under great pressure. In fact, they knew very well that the existence that killed Lily was probably the Lord Jia Yan who was playing the game in the game, but they didn't dare to say it. The existence of Jia Yan is like a huge bug to the entire game, because he is a galaxy level, and is as powerful as the galaxy-level strongman who governs this vast starry sky. They are a small game operator, and the strongest one is only a star-level being. How can they dare to shirk responsibility with a galaxy-level being? They didn't even dare to say that Jia Yan, a galaxy-level player, was in their game. Jia Yan obviously didn't want others to know that he was in this game. Maybe it was because he didn't want others to know that he was a galaxy-level person who also liked to play games, or he simply had a lot of enemies and didn't want others to know that he was in this game. Here, the game operators don't know the specific reason. They only know that this galaxy-level person is definitely not easy to mess with. That Liliu just fought with Jia Yan and then killed one of his real subordinates in the game. Jia Yan it will be killed neatly. You know, although a half-star level is nothing in front of the galaxy level, after all, it is still a good force in the star field. If it is killed normally, even the galaxy level will bear a little pressure. Of course, no one will care if they really want to kill. There is just a little bit of diplomatic pressure and unpredictability, so the average galaxy class will not easily kill semi-insignificant semi-human beings who are relatively insignificant to them. Stellar level. That Lord Jia Yan, how did he kill him so neatly? I didn't expect that Liliu would really die. We were still hoping that Liliu would not die. Master Jia Yan came to play in our game. Could it be that his original intention was not just to play the game, but to use this method to obtain the means to kill and attack enemies through our channels? Yes, that must be the case. Otherwise, why would a galaxy-level being come here to play a game or something? Unfortunately, at first, we thought he was just here to play. Unexpectedly, he was just here to play our game. I'm here to hone my channel skills. In the operator's nest of that game, several stars were in a state of distress. Just now, a large number of lawyers and media were asking them about things. They were very busy, but the most terrifying existence in the starry sky, that is, the galaxy-level adult, was like a cat that smelled fishy smell. Come to the door and ask them if they are in trouble. If a galaxy class comes to ask if the stars are in trouble, it means that he is suspecting that the game operation office may be threatened by another galaxy class, or a galaxy class force. If this situation really happens, this galaxy class must try every means to drive off the incoming galaxy class, or at least understand the other party's intention. But the game operators didn't dare to tell the news that Jia Yan was here. Because they knew very well that this galaxy-level master came to ask them if they had any news about another galaxy level. He did not want to help them, but just wanted to deal with another galaxy level. If they said it, it is very likely that this area, the place where the game is operated, will become a battlefield, and even affect their lives. How dare they say anything? Forget it, let's go over and find out what Mr. Jia Yan wants to do. This time the game was played like this, and 1.5 stars died. Although we are sure, their families will not be able to sue. But the loss is absolute. In short, this game is over. I'm afraid Master Jiayan won't be willing to do it. Now that he has become the strongest in our game, if he still wants to use our game to test something, then he will challenge another half-star. That's right. That's right, we have no reason to let him leave, so why don't we use force? If he doesn't kill us, that's fine. A group of star-class people are simply having a huge headache. When they encounter a very rogue galaxy-class person, for weaklings like them, it is like they are completely unable to resist and can only bear it. This is the theory of strong men in the universe. Even if they are trying to create a game without strong men, in the end they still cannot get rid of the threat of strong men. Perhaps if they want to truly realize their wishes, they need one of them, reaching the galaxy level, even becoming a territory lord, or even becoming a galaxy level supreme powerhouse. Would there be any possibility? No matter what, they knew that with the way things had developed, even if they had been trying to ignore Lord Jiayan, they would definitely have to contact him head-on now. On the Earth civilization side, because it has won the war against the Neat civilization, the entire civilization is shouting wildly. Moreover, some people who were relatively well informed found out through external online news that Lily himself actually died in his own home after playing games, and the party was even more intense. The player who killed the Earth civilization earlier made people in the Earth civilization panic. In the last battle, if it weren't for the large number of people participating in the battle, they would not have dared to go to the battlefield. Nowadays, although no ordinary player would guess that it was Jiayan who had tampered with the game and caused Lily's death, they do know that Lily is a real person who will never come back to threaten the players of the Earth civilization. So the haze in my heart immediately dissipated, and celebrating the victory naturally became more sincere. Ha ha ha, we have Master Jiayan, we will definitely win this game. Yes, even if we don't win, according to the original agreement we agreed on to share the spoils, oh no, it was the agreement to share the spoils, we will definitely make a fortune. Ha ha ha, tell me, what kind of existence is our Lord Jiayan? He died neatly in his hands. He must not be an ordinary half-star, right? What's half-star level? According to what I heard, some people are rumoring that Lord Jiayan is simply a star-level existence. They even said that Lily's death was because Lord Jiayan killed someone in the game. After Lily, the main body went over and killed Lily himself, because Lily had previously killed the players of our Earth civilization, and with Lord Jiayan's love and care, our Earth civilization will definitely win the final victory. Ah! Yes, is he a stellar level adult? Master Jiayan is such a terrifying existence. Even stellar level people will come to play games. It scares me. Don't be alarmed. Lord Jiayan is quite nice to us, otherwise he wouldn't be so kind to us and distribute the spoils to us properly every time. Yes, Lord Jiayan is different from other strong adults. He treats the weak fairly and will even take revenge for us. In the Earth civilization, everyone's discussion is almost one-sided, with great admiration for Jiayan. Although there are many people who think that it was Jiayan who killed Liliu, they all think that this should be the real body of Master Jiayan running to where Liliu's real body is. After killing Liliu in the game, the real body killed him again. Real body. As for using the game's channel to kill a star and a half, they would never dare to think about it, just like people on Earth would never think that they could kill each other in an instant by making a phone call through the phone signal. Such a thing, it all seems like a fantasy. They were extremely fond of Jiayan, who went to the star field where Liliu was to kill Liliu without any fear of being captured by the strong men in the starry sky. Of course, if they knew that Jiayan was not a star level at all, but a being who had reached the galaxy level, they would be shocked but probably not so moved, because the galaxy level is different from the star level. To kill 1.5 stars, in this starry sky, even the galaxy class who rules this starry sky would not dare to start the war easily, because the galaxy class and the star class are not the same concept at all. Sir, the delivery of materials has begun. Just like we did before, half of the income is ours, and a quarter of the other half is distributed to everyone in the Earth civilization. Do you think this is okay? If so, if it's not enough, let's just take it all in. Edisha and Jia Yan were reporting and talking in the subspace. No need, the effect of these substances is better than I thought. I think the harvest this time will be enough for me to complete the mutation process. I am a galactic level, so it is not good to break my word. Jia Yan said to Edisha calmly. Okay, my lord, your magnanimity puts me to shame. After a period of time as the dominator, Editha looked like a real person, and even her way of thinking became closer and closer to that of a real person. Well, by the way, I estimate that game operators will come later. You can receive them for me. No matter what promises they make, you don't have to agree. Earth civilization is rapidly approaching that other half-star level. Wait. Destroy that civilization, and we'll talk to them again. That's it, okay sir. I understand. Edisha became more and more cunning and understood Jia Yan's thoughts. Jia Yan's move is to get more benefits. Since this harvest is enough for Jia Yan to complete his mutation, there is no need to worry about what to do next. Even the Edisha can be recharged. By then, even if there are domain master creatures coming, they can all be able to do it again. Escape, there is no need to be afraid so much. This harvest has many benefits for us. I will complete my mutation. This is the most important thing. After Edisha left, Jia Yan took a good look at the harvest in the subspace. Although there are so many battleship wreckage in the starry sky and the opponent's main spacecraft are still being sorted out, most of the war profits have been accounted for, so Jia Yan knows how much he will get next. Finish the final stage of mutation for me. The huge cocoon-like thing that Jia Yan transformed began to have a new pulse. He is continuing his mutation. And just when Jia Yan ignored external things and carried out his mutation to the end, Edisha flew out of the subspace, and as Jia Yan said, the game operator arrived. Hello, the ruler of Earth civilization. Oh, It turns out that I'm here in person. There are 2 star-level existences. Hello, adults. Editha controlled the body of the master character herself, controlled a battleship, flew to a place extremely far away from the Earth civilization, and met with 2 star-level beings. These 2 stars, after all, are stars. They are 1 kilometer in size, and each one is as towering as a mountain. I don't dare to take it seriously. Lord Master, when you say that about us, you are overpraising us. You must be an extraordinary being to be able to join the game with Lord Jia Yan. That's why we should call you Lord. The 2 stars have placed their status very low. Although they don't know what kind of strength this ruler who seems to be a living creature can work with Jia Yan to create an Earth civilization, and then cooperate to cause trouble in the starry sky of this game, they know very well that this loving ruler, and it's definitely not a good thing. Haha, don't call me sir or anything like that, let's leave it like this. We don't have to be too polite. You are here, and I generally know your purpose of coming, but I still need you to tell me carefully. Edisha didn't have any too much entanglement with the other party on whether to call him sir. After all, he didn't want to call 2 stellar adults, even if its own Edisha was definitely not as powerful as one. It is a star class, but it is a galaxy class backpack brain, and its status is much higher than that of a star class. The 2 stars looked at each other, and then one of them said cautiously, Lord Master, I wonder if we can meet with Lord Jia Yan in person, because, you know, we still want to know what Lord Jia Yan means. No need, I can represent Mr. Jia Yan, you can tell me. Okay, we talked. The 2 star-level creatures immediately glanced at Editha. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Buletin U. Chapter 1961. Although they also respected Edisha, they had never thought about the status of this person who came to play games with Jia Yan and acted as the master. Now, at first glance, he can actually represent Jia Yan. If you speak, your status will be high. Infinity Pine Sigma Apple Sigma Novel Infinity. They quickly did not dare to show any contempt anymore and talked to Edisha about the purpose of their trip. Master, this is it. We would like to ask Master Jia Yan if there is anything he wants from us. If there is anything we can do to help, please speak up. We will do our best to serve you. These star-level beings didn't have any roundabout ideas. They made their purpose clear and expressed their meaning directly. That's Jia Yan. We can't afford to offend you, a galaxy class, but we are now willing to pay the price to let you go. Are you going to leave? Editha seemed to have known these stellar existences for a long time and would say these words. After hearing what they said, a slight smile appeared on her face. His image also looks like a human on Earth, but not as similar as Jia Yan, so he also has things like expressions. Very good. If you are interested in Mr. Jia Yan, then we will not embarrass you too much, let alone cause you too much loss. Now we have 3 requirements. The first half of what Edisha said made the 3 stars feel slightly relaxed, because these words seemed to recognize them and they should not do anything excessive. But after hearing the second half, their faces instantly turned bitter. You have to agree to the request, and it's 3 things. This makes them a little uncomfortable. The things that galaxy-level beings have to say are definitely not simple trivial matters. They smiled bitterly, hoping in their hearts that this wouldn't be anything bad. If it exceeds their acceptance level, then it will be difficult for them. They really have no confidence at all against the last galaxy-level being. This is why they dare to come in person, because they know that even if they give up here, it is impossible to escape from an industrial escape from being hunted by a galaxy class, and a galaxy class with a half-star talent. Master, please tell me, if we can do it, we will never hesitate at all. A few of them could only say this with extreme bitterness. Very good, then let me tell you. The first point is that you give us half of the remaining energy material in this game. Master Jia Yan is very interested in this kind of thing and wants to study it. That's no problem. Several people quickly agreed. Anyway, at least half of the materials in this game have been taken away by Jia Yan. Now the remaining half, it doesn't matter if they divide another half. It is at least better for them to lose these things than to lose their lives. Very good. You respect Sir Jia Yan very much. I am very satisfied. I believe you will also be satisfied. Next, I will say the second point. Edisha nodded seemingly with great satisfaction. In fact, he also knew that the other party would definitely agree to the above request. After all, it had already reached this point, and they would definitely not be able to stop the loss, otherwise Jia Yan would continue the game in the name of if you keep playing, you may lose more game resources and even make bigger news. The second requirement is that we need information on the manufacturing methods of your energy materials, or the source of them. The words Edisha said made the other party slightly stunned, but they were not stunned for long, and one of them nodded quickly. There is no problem with this. In fact, Mr. Jia Yan probably didn't understand our industry, otherwise he would definitely know where our materials come from. In fact, they are purchased from a force in the central region of the galaxy. Huh? From the central star field of the Milky Way. When Edisha heard the above answer, she was slightly shocked. Not only that, but Jia Yan, who listened to their every word and deed in the subspace, was also slightly shocked. Nowadays, he is very concerned about things in the center of the Milky Way, especially things related to his future training energy. He is extremely concerned about it. When he heard that the source of these materials was the central star field of the Milky Way, he immediately felt that it would not be that simple to obtain this material in the future. but it shouldn't be as difficult as I thought. After all, even these star-level beings can get so much. For me, I should be able to get more, and I can even exchange with them normally, in exchange for what I want. The secret of manufacturing. Jia Yan pondered in the subspace. All he has been thinking about is getting the manufacturing method in his hands, purchasing it, etc. This kind of thing is someone else's lifeline, and he will not do it like this. Besides, the price of this kind of material is definitely not cheap. It seems that several people they are affordable at the stellar level, but what Jia Yan wants is to use them as common materials for cultivation. Under the heavy consumption, he will definitely not only use this amount, but he still has to learn the manufacturing technology by himself. Fortunately, at least it was possible to get these star-level creatures to hand over their material sources, and it seems that this should be an internal civilization in the galaxy that specializes in supplying similar materials. Jia Yan believes that in the future, we only need to communicate well. There may not be a way to buy this technology. Very good. You agreed to 2 requests, and then comes the third one. And for this, you should be prepared. When Edisha knew that the other party had agreed to the 2 major requests, she was in a good mood and spoke more like a spring breeze, making the other party seem even more relaxed. The third requirement is that you disclose the player's channel technology to us. How much you know about this channel, or the research information on its future prospects, etc., must be quite a lot. Please disclose it to my family. Don't worry, my family will not disclose such technology to the public. In the future, you should apply this technology however you want. Editha smiled slightly, like a big bad wolf who wanted to eat the little white rabbit. This. None of the people on the other side had hesitated for so long just now, but now they did. Because they know that this is the most difficult thing for them to agree to. They had roughly guessed the technology that Jia Yan required for the channel before they came, because Jia Yan had the strength to kill a star and a half through the channel, so he should know that this channel was not a long-distance communication technology, but involves some kind of extremely cutting-edge science and technology, even related to the secrets of another world. For this game operator, they have used this channel to have the advanced technology to dominate the game. If it were replaced by other similar game operators, just getting through the signal problem in the surrounding star field would be a huge problem. And they don't need to care so much, because the passages in another world are connected to everywhere in this world. As long as they use their own technology and design the passage points one by one, then it may be possible to connect a large area of the entire star field in this way, greatly saving money. If it weren't for the huge savings in funds, their investment would have to increase at least 10 times to achieve the current results. In fact, they are not willing to tell such core secrets at all. And they understood better that Jia Yan could actually kill people by using this channel technology. They wanted to study this issue before, but their understanding of the channel was only that they could communicate. For example, they couldn't use this channel to kill people. In fact, if Jia Yan was not a galaxy-level being, they all wanted to use force to extract a confession and ask him for information on why Jia Yan could kill people through this passage. It's a pity that Jia Yan is a galaxy-level powerhouse. They can't force him at all, and they may even face the consequences of giving out this information instead. If Mr. Jia Yan gets our information, then he is likely to develop this channel technology into a more powerful weapon. Even the galaxy level may be injured by him. This is extremely detrimental to the operation of our game. By then, no one will be willing to believe that our games using this channel are safe. Among the several star-level ones, one hesitated and couldn't help but say this. Edisha glanced at this person, then nodded slowly as if listening. The stellar-level creatures were all nervous. They knew that this was Edisha communicating with the Lord Jia Yan, or perhaps communicating with his true body. None of them knew that the galaxy-level being was watching them. Now that they knew it all of a sudden, one could imagine the tension in their hearts. Okay, Mr. Jia Yan just transmitted a message to me. He said that he will not publicly say that this technology is a fighting method obtained through your technology, but please don't tell me what his trump card will be in the future. It is obtained through a certain method, which will also have the benefit of concealing his trump card if someone cracks it. So if he doesn't tell you, your channel technology can still be used. In addition, the Lord also said just now that since you have suffered a relatively large loss this time, he will become the protector of your game in the future. I believe that you do not have the strength of the galaxy to be a protector. Let me tell you, Lord Jia Yan is as a mid-level galaxy being, it will not take long in the future to reach the territory Lord's creature. If you get the protection of Lord Jia Yan, you will truly rise to great heights. As soon as Edisha said this, to his own surprise, the several star-level beings were not unhappy at all, and all of them looked ecstatic. Is this true? Jia Yan is actually a mid-level galaxy existence, and he is still willing to protect us in the future. This, Lord Jia Yan is a mid-level star. Will he still be a territory lord in the future? Ha ha ha, this is great. If we had told him earlier, we wouldn't be entangled. Lady Aditha is really. Several star-level people seem to be in ecstasy. What Edisha and Jia Yan don't understand is that in this star area close to the center of the Milky Way, the boundary between star level and galaxy level is very clear. Even though star level creatures are strong, they don't have much real power. But the galaxy level is different. In any case, this kind of existence is the pinnacle existence in the entire galaxy. Even the domain lords are far behind the junior and middle level star level, let alone the illusory high level and even peak creatures of the galaxy. The gap between each one is as huge as a natural chasm. But the galaxy level is the galaxy level. Once you reach the galaxy level, you are qualified to sit in a large starry sky, even in this place close to the central star region of the Milky Way. Only in the center of the Milky Way can there be a primary existence of the galaxy and be unable to become a powerful force. However, it is still far away from here, so it is not considered. In this starry sky, no one would not expect to be protected by a galaxy-level person, even a star-level one. What's more, Edisha said that Jia Yan was not just a junior star of the galaxy as they had predicted before, but an intermediate star of the galaxy. That's right, Edisha can already directly say that Jia Yan is an intermediate galaxy. After all, his mutation has been almost completed. What's more, even before he was promoted to intermediate galaxy, he had already killed several people in the galaxy. Now he is a middle-level powerhouse in the galaxy. He is said to be a middle-level powerhouse in the galaxy. He is even more terrifying than the average mid-level powerhouse in the galaxy. No one dares to say a word of denial in Shuyuan. Seeing several stars, each one was overjoyed. Aditha held back the weirdness of her complaints. In short, these guys have given so much, and if they want to be happy because of a word, let them be happy. At least there will be fewer people hating Jia Yan in the future. Since you agree to this matter, it is settled that if you bring out the channel technology, Lord Jia Yan will show his strength and help you suppress one party. Okay. The so-called suppression of one party means that Jia Yan uses some kind of brainwave power to leave his own energy at important locations in the starry sky, so that when other strong people come here, they will understand that there is a Zing here. Super existence as a shield is almost the same as Jia Yan's previous threat of brainwave power to the operator of this game. Of course, whether the opponent takes advantage of this strong man depends on how strong the strong man who left the energy is, and how strong the opponent is. At least Jia Yan would be extremely happy for the group of stars in front of him if he could retain his mid-level galaxy brainwave power. You must know that the person who sits in their star field is only a beginning existence of the galaxy. They were all expecting the creature from the first level of the galaxy to come to this starry sky and want to exercise his right to rule, but they were horrified when they discovered the strength left by Master Jia Yan. Of course, they are still the rulers of this starry sky. Unless Master Jia Yan starts a war with the other party and seizes this territory, otherwise, they will still have to pay tribute to the elementary creature of the galaxy. Money and other things, this is the default rule of the powerful people in the universe. Boom. When these creatures were talking to Edisha, an earth-shaking power suddenly erupted inside the subspace. Boom boom boom. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1962. It turns out that at this moment, Jia Yan in the subspace finally fulfilled his greatest wish in the game Starry Sky Princess. He finally broke through the mutated cocoon, gained complete strength, and became an intermediary star. Ha 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 ha, intermediate galaxy, and not just any intermediate galaxy. Jia Yan was extremely happy, with excitement flashing on his face. This time, the promotion of the galaxy intermediate level was so full of twists and turns that it almost cost him his life. From the beginning of entering the energy circle to being hunted down by the domain master creature, a series of things happened after that, and now he has a satisfactory result. Finally the promotion was successful. Jia Yan smiled slightly. He paced, slowly flying out of the subspace from inside the subspace. Confused. Then, outside the subspace, a group of creatures felt the drastic changes within the subspace, and their expressions changed drastically in shock. Because within the subspace, a hole suddenly opened, and from this hole, a figure emerged. This figure is too majestic and extremely beautiful. Anyone who is a living creature can appreciate his beauty and power. This is a behemoth that resembles a Zerg creature, with an astonishing figure, completely dark and black, with extremely dazzling black flashing in its bones. You can tell by looking at it that it is a terrifying defense. His figure was so perfect, as if he were made by the Creator in the stars, and his proportions and appearance seemed to be a gift from God. Of course, what is even more terrifying is the vast and terrifying power surrounding this creature. The energy is so terrifying, even if you just see it, you know that this creature is absolutely earth-shaking and amazing. Star, Galaxy Intermediate Level. Is this Lord Jia Yan? How scary. A true mid-level star. In my entire life, I have never seen such a terrifying powerhouse. Why do I feel that it is more powerful than ordinary mid-level galactic beings? Although it is not as good as Domain Lord creatures, it is much more terrifying than ordinary mid-level galactic powerhouses. There are several strong stellar operators with varying levels of knowledge. One of them has never seen even the middle-level galaxy, and the other is well informed and seems to have seen the appearance of the Domain Lord creature. At this time, he murmured. Talking to himself, he felt the extent of Jia Yan's extremely amazing strength. No matter how good it is, no one who knows the goods will recognize Jia Yan's promotion ability. Let me get to know you guys. I am Jia Yan. I have been dealing with you guys using my gaming identity before. Please forgive me. The shocking figure of the giant mosquito spoke with a faint buzzing sound inside the subspace. Following his opening, earth-shattering power swept away, causing several star-level creatures to take several steps back. Congratulations, sir, for your further improvement in strength. As several star-level creatures retreated, it was Edisha who spoke first to congratulate her. Ah! Master Jia Yan has improved his strength. Congratulations, sir, congratulations, sir. It turns out that you are improving your strength in our game area. This is our honor. Several star-level creatures suddenly realized. This mid-level creature from the galaxy, who seemed to be much larger than them, turned out to be improving his strength in their game area. No wonder they felt that Jia Yan's astonishing strength seemed to be a bit overwhelming. This should be the feeling of being unable to suppress your power for the time being after your strength has improved. Very good. I am very satisfied with the decision you have made. Here is the suppression power I will give you. If you need me for anything in the future, you can go to the Orion Arm to find me. Remember, it is the Orion arm. Jia Yan silently looked at these star-level beings. Even if he felt that these star-level creatures were not creatures worth cultivating, he also revealed his true location. Star-level, after all, is a star-level creature. For Jia Yan, it is a rare power. He cannot compare to the Queen of the Zerg. There are so many galactic beings for her to drive. Jia Yan needs to connect with star-level beings. He tried his best to fight for it. At least with a few stars, the safety of the Orion arm would make him worry a lot. Okay, Orion arm, we understand, sir. It's just that I still have family and property waiting in this starry sky. I hope you can understand me. Jia Yan nodded. To be honest, I will be a little disappointed, but I am not that angry or anything. If strong people could force themselves like this, the entire starry sky would have been in chaos. I don't force you to serve. If you have anything to do in the future, you can come to me. Of course, I may be in the central star field of the Milky Way in the near future. If you have anything, you can come to me there. Your three, don't forget this condition. That's it, Adisha. I will continue to stabilize my strength, and you come and negotiate with them. Good master. Adisha didn't shy away from it anymore. Jia Yan even revealed his true body, so naturally he no longer had to pretend to be the master. Is this ruler a slave to Master Jia Yan? But being able to be a slave to a mid-level galaxy existence is a position that many people would laugh out of their dreams. Several star-level creatures silently knew of Edish's status. Jia Yan did not participate in what happened next. First of all, he was just letting his true body indulge in a little indulgence because he had improved his strength, not to show off or anything. Another point is that he is a master after all, so it is more convenient to leave matters such as negotiating terms to Edissa. Other reasons are simpler, that is, he needs a certain amount of time to stabilize his strength. Not long after, Editha's light and shadow body appeared inside the subspace. The huge mosquito spreads across the hinterland of subspace, making it as far as the eye can see. It is like a mountain. Master, congratulations on your improvement in strength. Even though Adisha had already congratulated her just now, she was still extremely surprised to congratulate Jia Yan this time. Well, that's all expected. Have they left already? How was the conversation? They have left. Before you showed up, my lord, they were a little timid about agreeing to the conditions. But after you showed up, they agreed to anything very quickly. Some even said that he was willing to hand over all the conditions. Game property, but I didn't agree. This is good. Such a small game asset is not worth it for me to monopolize. Jia Yan nodded. Then master, I will resign. With the next supplies, I will try my best to recharge the Edisha so that I can face creatures like the Territory Lord in the future. Go ahead. After Edisha resigned, Jia Yan stayed in the depths of subspace. Galaxy Intermediate, haha, actually I have reached Galaxy Intermediate a long time ago. This promotion is really a bit long. Jia Yan felt his current giant mosquito body. The huge figure was more than 30 kilometers long, as terrifying as a mountain. Placed on the moon, he would spread out his giant feet, which would probably cover a large area of the moon. People on Earth could see him on the Earth. Jia Yan had never thought of such a terrifying giant creature, which just evolved from a mosquito on the Earth. Very good. The feeling of strength and the adaptability of the entire body have reached their peak. My slow mutation is not without its benefits. At least after this breakthrough, my body's adaptation period will be much shorter. Jia Yan took a long time to recover from the mutation. This process took a long time, including fighting, so that he had already understood and adapted to this mutated body. Strength, compared to when the brainwave power first broke through to the middle level of the galaxy, it is much stronger. Of course, it is mainly stronger in the body. Brainwave power and the like are very limited. Overall, the strength is stronger than compared with the two mid-level galactic creatures we fought before and escaped from the clutches of the Domain Lord creatures. We must be about half times stronger. Jia Yan thought to himself that although his strength was only half times stronger, it was already incredible. Half the strength is sometimes a huge level leap. He thought about it for a while, and thought that with his current strength, it would be much faster to kill two galaxy mid-level people in that battle. And if you escape from that Domain Lord creature, it should be easier. Of course, it may not change much, because the main contributor to escaping from a Domain Lord creature is still the Edisha. Jia Yan suddenly sighed when he thought of the Domain Lord creature. After reaching the middle level of the galaxy, he still couldn't understand the Domain Master creature. I originally thought that after reaching the middle level of the galaxy and being only one step away from the Domain Lord creatures, I should be able to understand a little bit about the Domain Lord creatures. Unfortunately, I still can't understand it. Do I really need to be close to the Domain Lord with my strength? Will it be possible to get a glimpse of the Domain Master's biological strength if he becomes the Master? Jia Yan really sighed. He originally thought that when he reached the middle level of the galaxy, he would be close to the Domain Lord creatures. With his performance in being able to fight across levels in the past, it is not unusual for him to compete with the weak Domain Lord creatures. That's right, but now when he thinks about it, he can't help but find that the gap between himself and the Domain Master creature is still very big. That's right, at the galaxy level, the more powerful the level, the more geniuses the strong ones inside are. Just like the Domain Master creatures, almost every creature cannot be much weaker than the evolved beasts, because the evolved beasts are the strongest in history. A strong individual is just a Domain Master. He is not even as strong as the Zerg Queen. At most, he is as strong as the Domain Master I escaped from last time. In other words, the talent advantage I always thought of has reached the middle level of the galaxy. Or the Domain Lord level is not an advantage at all, and may even be a joke in the eyes of real talented beings. Jia Yan smiled bitterly after seeing the reality. Where did this come from? In the past few decades, he had thought that his talent was extremely high from the very beginning, but in the blink of an eye, he felt that his talent was not enough. Of course, this is because he improved too quickly and quickly reached this level. It is not that he is not a genius. He will naturally gradually realize that his talent is not good enough. If he has not improved his level, he may still be immersed in himself. In the thought of having a good talent, he had no idea that the real world had not yet revealed its true face to him. Oh, in order to improve myself to a stronger level, and to break the legend that the strongest ones are only at the Domain Lord level, I have to work hard. Jia Yan feels that his mission is not just to reach the Territory Lord. Although there are still many creatures behind the Territory Lord, his ideals are very lofty. The creatures of the Territory Lord are so amazing, so what will happen after the Territory Lord, the real overlord level of the entire galaxy, the high-level galaxy? Even after the high level of galaxy, what kind of scenery will it be like if there are still strong people at the galaxy peak who are still unknown? Thinking of these, Jia Yan felt an urge in his heart to rush to a more terrifying level. He wants to rush until he can no longer rush. Maybe then, when he looks back at this life, he will feel comfortable. After the peak of the galaxy, is there a new and more terrifying level? I don't know about it at all. Maybe no one in the entire galaxy knows about it? There is also a chance that no creature in the galaxy has ever understood it. If I am lucky enough, I will definitely not give up the opportunity to get a glimpse of that mysterious level. Jia Yan thought of so much in silence, but then he still shook his head and turned his attention to the things nearby. Thinking about so many things is just a waste of time. He has not even reached the level of Domain Lord. The subsequent levels, even the mysterious unknown levels, what is the use of thinking so much? Find bookstore. You have to eat food one bite at a time, and you have to do things step by step. Thinking so much doesn't help me. Jia Yan smiled slightly. Although he knew that his talent might not be as terrible as he thought, he still had great confidence in himself. Maybe it's because he has never suffered a big blow in his life, or maybe it's because he doesn't know how to be afraid at all, or maybe it's his temperament of not hitting the wall and never looking back that affects him. In short, Jia Yan is full of confidence in himself. Galaxy has reached the intermediate level. It has been fully entered. The next goal is Domain Lord. Step by step, it's the turn of the Domain Lord level, right? Queen of the Zerg, I'm finally close to your level, but your talent is also extremely strong, and may even surpass mine. Let's see, will I catch up with you and surpass you, or will you break through before me? To the high level of Galaxy. Of course, it's also possible that one of us will die first in the center of the galaxy. Jia Yan knew that either he or the Zerg Queen might die. In this starry sky, there is a constant chance of strong men falling, not to mention the central star field of the Milky Way that seems to be even more chaotic. Okay, now that I've reached this level, it's time to find the Zerg Queen and the others. At least at my current level, I can't compete with the Domain Lord for hegemony, so I still need a force that I can rely on temporarily. It's just that this time I've been promoted to Intermediate Galaxy, my strength has been greatly improved. When I get back there, the Queen of the Zerg will have to give me a higher status. Jia Yan thought a lot, and he even thought about whether there would be some discord between him and the Black Sheep who had always been slightly hostile to him when he returned to the energy circle of the Zerg Queen. Yes, his heart is no longer in this game space. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1963. At the same time that Jia Yan was thinking and gaining insights, Edisha was also busy. It received a lot of energy and learned a lot of information from the mouths of those star-level beings. It seems that these star-level beings have great respect for Master Jia Yan, and they are also very grateful to Master Jia Yan for protecting these people. Edisha is relatively satisfied with several star levels. In the Orion Arm or the star field where He Pei and Jia Yan went together, Edisha could feel that even if the weak knew that they were weak, they still did not have that kind of respect for the strong. Because in other places, as long as the weak have a little bit of talent, they will feel a little bit proud, thinking that they can surpass the strong, and become a being that the strong will respect in the future. But in this starry sky, the weak are different. For example, this group of star-level game operators are strong. They cannot be said to be very close to the galaxy level, but they are star-level existences after all. If you want to be proud, they can be considered got some money. But this is the case for the strong people here. They have a very clear understanding of their future and potential. Those star-level beings probably never thought that they could reach Jia Yan's level in the future. Ever since, after his status was corrected, he had a strong sense of respect for Jia Yan. This is also more comfortable for a strong man. The attitude of the weak that the strong want is not that every weak person does not believe in fate or the prestige of the strong. Such things are troublesome and heartbreaking for the strong. Just imagine, any weak person in this world is roaring, "I can't control my fate" all the time. In this case, it may be a more passionate world, but it will definitely not be a stable world, let alone a bunch of idiots will be born. Well, the data they sent is quite fast. Let me take a look at the data theory of that channel first. Edisha accepted the information from several star levels and just returned to the operations headquarters. Edisha absorbed the information quickly. After all, it is just an intelligent brain. The brain is different from a living thing. It is actually a processor, and the speed of processing data is far faster than that of ordinary living things. Afterwards, Edisha was extremely excited. Haha, I feel that these things are of great use to Mr. Jiayan. I have gained so much from this game trip. I will take a look at the other things next. After receiving the information from the other party, Edisha instantly became interested in the information from these stars. Then there are the methods they use to create in-game resources, as well as energy suppliers and the like. Edisha digested all this, and then she didn't feel too excited. Because this information should not be of much use to Jiayan. Even if these 2 points are given to Jiayan, then the resources in this game Star Sky will be nothing to the game operators. At most, they will lose some economic problems. Some of them have already begun to transport resources to the Earth civilization. And more than that, at this time, the game operator began to contact many civilizations in the game on the grounds that there was an error in the game, saying that they would end the game early. There must be many civilizations that disagree with this statement, especially the civilization where the other half-star powerhouse belongs. Every ordinary player in the civilization is dissatisfied with this statement. After all, they are qualified to compete with the civilization that dominates this game. Even if they have heard about it, the civilization on Earth is extremely powerful. But to the players, they are just playing games and are not afraid of the threat of strong people at all, so they refuse to allow the game to end quickly. But it's useless for them to disagree. The ruler of the other half of the star-level civilization, that is, another half-star level being, after hearing about this decision, it didn't take long to come out and explain that he would unconditionally follow this game. Operator conditions. He was naturally afraid. In this game, there was a being like Jia Yan who could kill swiftly, and he was afraid of following in the footsteps of the swift. Although his actions are much more civilized and measured than neat, what reason does a strong person need to kill a weak person? If he refused to quit the game and provoked Jia Yan to deal with him neatly, wouldn't he die miserably? A semi-star powerhouse would not sacrifice his life for a game for no reason. I agreed, and the remaining civilizations also agreed, but now our game is going to suffer a lot. Far away from the game operator center, that is, outside the fake star, several star-level beings in the game operations center let out a long sigh. They paid a huge price for shutting down the game early this time. And the price paid has yielded nothing. Although there are promises and certain agreements from Jia Yan, after all, they are not things that can be obtained now, so they are all very complicated. Don't think too much. It's enough that Mr. Jia Yan is willing to help us. In addition, he seems to have said that he will give us the secret training method of joint tactics of the Earth civilization, which even the players of the Earth civilization have never mastered. For us, even if we don't use it ourselves, we can definitely sell it at a good price if it comes with the training secrets. This can't be sold. I just had a phone call with Mr. Edisha again. He said that this set of secrets is a new cultivation method developed by Mr. Jia Yan himself. It is even a little different from the cosmic cultivation method. Even for we have no use for it, but do you think he would be willing to let us sell it for money? Well, that's it. Then I can't sell it. But since that's the case, I'm more interested in taking a look. After all, it's a cultivation method developed by a galaxy-level being. It's even possible that this is all done by Master Jia Yan himself. The main skill for promotion is of great value, and it may be helpful to our promotion. Several star-level beings were counting their losses while calculating and judging the gains and losses of what Jia Yan had given them. Although no matter how you calculate it, they seem to have suffered a bigger loss, but for them, this is already a good result. If you are a galaxy-level person, it is already a good way to deal with you if you want something without forcing it from you. If you make others uncomfortable again, they will probably have their own heads on the ground. After all, they have witnessed Lord Jia Yan's real power, which is really not something they can deal with. Even these star-level beings are wondering whether Lord Jia Yan will be better than the one in their starry sky. Galaxy-level beings must be stronger. Naturally, what the operators of the game, the stars, don't know is that they are about to obtain the Yin Yang Dao cultivation secret book. Perhaps from now on, they will fall into this new cultivation method and be unable to extricate themselves. No one can guarantee whether there will be any improvement, but what is certain is that Jia Yan did not deceive them. The value of this Yin and Yang Dao is definitely greater than what they paid. Of course, Jia Yan had nothing to lose, because he originally wanted to make Yin and Yang Dao flourish. As for the promise of a galaxy level to the other party, it doesn't mean anything. After all, the trouble that the star level can cause is nothing to him. Even if a galaxy level creature comes to see these few as for the stellar level of trouble, he estimated that he would have a chance to easily deal with the enemy and return such a small favor. Yes, it's just a small favor. Even if it helps Jia Yan improve his strength and complete the mutation, even if it is not this game, there is another place, or there is another place with minerals and the like, for Jia Yan to succeed, so this is not life-saving for Jia Yan. Ordinary favors are just a small favor, and he is ambiguous between whether he can reciprocate or not. Okay, the incident here is finally coming to an end. Within the subspace, Jia Yan practiced for a while and silently opened his giant mosquito compound eyes. Far outside the subspace, the civilization of the Earth is crying for its father and mother, and players from all over the world are reluctant to part with it. Because the administrators in the game have already begun to notify that this time the game will be ranked first by Earth civilization or temporarily, and the game will be shut down for a period of time to carry out necessary upgrades and transformations. Many of the players in Earth civilization are players who have only experienced the last battle. They don't even feel like they have stayed in Earth civilization for a long time. They are about to quit such a large civilization that will definitely become news. Naturally, they feel that somewhat lost. But the ones making the loudest noise are not these new players, because there is no emotion, and they cannot be so excited. The ones who really made the noise were the old players in Earth civilization, especially the few thousand people who had just entered Earth civilization. Each of them has an extremely strong sense of belonging to the Earth civilization. At this moment, they were about to leave the Earth civilization, and even quit the game. Naturally, they were extremely reluctant to give up. This period of gaming life is like a dream for many of them. Especially those old players, the money they earn in this game may allow them to live a good life for a lifetime. And some powerful players, although the money they earn may not be enough for their training expenses, they have gained the skill of joined forces to fight, which is quite rewarding. Where's Master Jia Yan? Has Master Jia Yan already quit the game? Woohoo, I'm most grateful to Master Jia Yan. Yes, I am also grateful to Mr. Jia Yan. You know, I have become a final partner with Ayla in the starry sky next door. I am grateful to Mr. Jia Yan for his protection, which makes our life as a couple in the game so smooth. And more the money for the wedding. Me too. I also fell into a very happy relationship in this game. I want to thank Mr. Jia Yan. Ha ha ha, my life has changed. My parents will no longer stop me from playing games. In the future, I will hone my skills in each game and become a more powerful professional gamer. Master Jia Yan, please come out. We all want to see you. Editha also felt a little sad when facing the large number of Earth civilization players in front of her. Perhaps as an intelligent brain, its current emotions are the closest to those of a living thing. In the civilization of this Earth for more than a year, Edisha simulated the emotions of living things as much as possible, and then it gradually moved closer to the emotional aspects of living things. It can be said that it magically turned into a like creature with emotions. Now, this is equivalent to the civilization he built with his own hands, and it is coming to an end. For Edisha, she also has mixed feelings. Jia Yan, such a hands-off shopkeeper, didn't care at all, and it was the same now. He had no intention of showing up. Master, will you come forward? They all want to see you. It's gone. I've experienced a lot of this kind of thing. But if you want to connect with them emotionally, just go and keep in touch with them yourself. After all, you still have relatively little experience. Jia Yan is very generous and considerate of Adisha's attachment to the game. Okay, I'm going to hold a farewell party with them. Master, I'll come find you after the party is over and leave together. Good. Jia Yan looked at Adisha and left the subspace with a complicated expression. His own expression also became a little complicated. To be honest, Jia Yan doesn't have much insights into this game, because he has experienced similar things countless times. Emotional things will actually fade after you experience them too much. However, the harvest from this trip was a bit beyond Jia Yan's expectation. Because he never thought that he was just gaining energy in this resource-rich game operation area, but he got more things. Okay, now let's take a look at some information given to me by the game operator. First of all, it's information about energy suppliers. Jia Yan looked at the energy suppliers information. So that's it? Looking for the book is actually supplied by a force that lives on energy in the central star field of the Milky Way. In the entire central star field of the Milky Way, the power of this supplier does not count. I cannot underestimate the forces that are big or even small, but can have a firm foothold in the central star field of the Milky Way. Jia Yan took a look at the information that was beneficial to his cultivation materials. When he saw that the power in the information was indeed what he thought, it was the work of a power in the central star field of the Milky Way, he suddenly felt a little bit sinister. It seems that there is a long way to go to obtain the manufacturing methods of those resources. Now that we know about energy, what about the channel? This thing may be something that can help me improve my attack methods. After Jia Yan read the energy information, he looked at another piece of information that he was very concerned about. That's the thing about passage. For him, energy is related to his own cultivation and future improvement, but this channel was the method used to kill a star and a half from an unknown distance of many kilometers. If used well, it will be his another killer ability to enhance combat power, so he naturally attaches great importance to it. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1964. It's a bit interesting that this passage involves another world. These star-level existences before also show that they are not the discoverers of this passage at all, but one of them saw it from an ancient document. The relevant data records were then used in the game through various methods. He also thought about using this channel in other aspects, but countless attempts failed. In the end, he could only translate part of the technology and make it look like a data channel in the game. Jia Yan thought a lot, especially about the formation of the game channel and their research and development process, and made some self-understanding and analysis. Because many things at that time were not told by others, but countless big and small inspirations, as well as some unclear memories, etc., allowed them to obtain the final data of the channel, and maybe even some of the data. Some of them appeared through countless opportunities and coincidences, which gave Jia Yan a very clear understanding of some of them. That is, these guys are very lucky, and I am also very lucky to have obtained the data of these guys. Haha, could it be that I am really lucky to get these guys' things? Jia Yan looked at a lot of data, and he had to say that he felt that the guys who got these data were extremely lucky, because those people should have never been to the other world like Jia Yan, so using only my own imagination and experience, I was able to come up with several kinds of data about the other world. This can be described as a kind of miracle. Of course, unlike them, Jia Yan has never been to the other world, or he is not sure whether the other world carried by this passage is the giant's world he has been to, but all these things are analogous, and Jia Yan feels that his understanding of the world of this passage is simply unmatched by anyone in the world today. Therefore, he is extremely sensitive to any errors in his understanding of this channel and the data. The numbers here are probably wrong, but it's not harmful. It just makes the channel a little less efficient. They probably know that there are errors in their data, but they don't dare to change it, because if you change this kind of thing, it will cost a lot of money. Funds may not necessarily be able to improve things, and may even overthrow all existing things and make them fall short. Jia Yan saw several small errors, then he thought about it and corrected the errors in the data. Okay, this is much more perfect. At least with my current knowledge and insights, I can only change it to this extent. Returning favors is something I like to do. Send it to them. Jia Yan smiled slightly, and then sent the modified data back to the star-level experts in game operations within the subspace. If they are smart enough, they will understand that what I give them is not just something that can be used in the game. In the future, they may get more benefits if they use their intelligence. It depends on whether they have such a vision, and it's a chance. After Jia Yan has done all this, he will no longer care about the affairs of these stellar beings. For him, he has helped them a lot. If he continues to help them, he will be like his own apprentice. He doesn't want to accept a few star-level disciples as his disciples, because there is no need for this anymore. Although the star level is not strong for him, he is actually an absolute powerhouse in the universe, and he already has a definite desire. Retraining is almost impossible, so no one would think of accepting a star-level being as their apprentice. Okay, now let me take a look at this passage for myself. For me, this passage may be the giant world I have been to, or it may not be that world at all. If it is the giant world, then I must really take care of it. Think about it, what exactly is the world? If it is not the world of giants, then the question arises again, are there really so many various worlds in this world, or this universe? How are they connected by existence? What about? Of course, what I want is not just to answer the above questions, but I want to know what among these things is worth learning from, especially my fighting method and using this channel. Being able to develop another weapon that is very useful to me or something like that. Jia Yan's purpose all along was not to do research, but to get more fighting methods for himself. Especially when he killed the half-star existence before, he had thought that the passages in this game might not be as simple as threads that connect players together, but might form a chain. Yan's unique new attack method. Half-star level is nothing. With 1.5 star level, it will be easier for me to kill him however I want. But if the opponent is replaced by a galaxy level, can I use this channel to attack him? It has a harmful effect. Jia Yan is thinking. If a fighting method cannot be changed to have an impact on a being of the same level, it is not a good fighting method. The defense and reaction capabilities of galaxy-level existences are simply not comparable to that of a half-star. Moreover, when I attacked that half-star, the opponent did not die immediately. So with such a level of brain waves, it is simply impossible to shake a galaxy level with this power. If I increase the strength, can this channel be able to withstand it? Jia Yan has been thinking about similar questions. After all, it is never easy to come up with a trump card. Having a good idea is just one of the steps. At most, it is starting the car. Next, he wants to start the car. Opening it well requires countless efforts. Jia Yan has been thinking, but the process cannot be so fast. He needs to replenish Aditha's final energy in the space of this game before leaving here. Master Jia Yan, all the players from Earth civilization have come to say goodbye to us. Suddenly one day, Adisha came to Jia Yan. Looking at it, it looks like the people who are really reluctant to leave the Earth civilization in the game. Well, I understand. I'll go out and meet them. Jia Yan pondered for a moment, feeling that he still needed to go out and meet those players. Although he doesn't want to have a good relationship with a group of weaklings, Jia Yan actually knows that this is just a game. If he also concentrates on playing the game, everyone's status will be equal. If Jia Yan meets a group of weak people in reality, he will definitely not want to, because it will only waste his time. After all, even if Jia Yan has different ideas from those high-ranking galaxy-level people, they do not regard weak people as having the same intelligence. Life, he at least regards others as intelligent life, but the psychology of the strong also affects him, and he does not value the weak so much. The current situation has made Jia Yan realize his high regard for the weak again. Not long after, the spaceships in the Earth civilization no longer had combat functions and were transformed into amusement parks in the game. Lord Jia Yan. You are here. Ha ha ha, I saw Lord Jia Yan. Long time no see, Master Jia Yan. Hello, sir. We miss you very much. We thought you would never show up to see us again. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to see us. A group of ordinary game players met Jia Yan, who transformed into a human game character. Hello, everyone, eat and drink well. The game will be closed tomorrow due to various reasons. We can't be so sad. Even if we don't have the chance to see each other again in the future, we are still brothers now. Jia Yan held the wine glass and looked at everyone with a smile. Of course, tens of thousands of people are something he can't stand, so at least he can show some understanding. Even though Jia Yan looks down on ordinary weaklings, his demeanor show him full respect for everyone. Looking down and respecting are sometimes not in conflict. What Jia Yan looks down on is just people's strength. But regarding human nature itself, Jia Yan still feels that everyone has their own opinions and fresh opinions. He does not feel that he is superior to others in these aspects. Such a strong person is a strong person who understands the weak, and he is also a strong person who respects people in essence. Master Jia Yan is so approachable. No wonder you can become more powerful than Luo. Master Jia Yan, forgive us for being bold. I want to know your specific strength. Can you tell us? A group of daring gamers actually asked Jia Yan such questions at this cocktail party. Generally speaking, a strong person will not reveal his strength to a weak person easily. After all, strong people sometimes do not want others to know their strength. They often even suppress their strength to the point where many ordinary people observe in society. The entire venue fell silent instantly. The player who asked the question was a young man who looked very young. Well, his whole body was watched by the whole audience, and he was extremely nervous for a moment. He was wondering if he had asked a serious question. Your question is a good one. I'm sorry that I haven't even told you my bottom line of strength after spending so much time with you. This is my negligence. Jia Yan was not angry, but after pondering for a moment, he spoke words of respect for others. The young player let out a sigh of relief. He just figured it out and almost cried out of fright, because if Lord Jia Yan was unhappy, he would also use that neat method to kill him in one breath. Fortunately, Jia Yan was not as violent as he imagined. What about me? Jia Yan said. Actually, I'm a galaxy-level player. I came to play in the game this time because I just thought it was fun. Thank you all for letting me experience the fun of the game. Okay, now that I have revealed my details, no one will want to question me anymore. Jia Yan smiled slightly, as if he said something normal. But after he said these words, the whole scene was actually quiet. Because, Jia Yan just said the words galaxy level. You must know that the galaxy level is not something that can be found just by talking about it. If you are not a galaxy level person and you dare to say that you are a galaxy level, something will probably happen. In the universe, the majesty of the strong cannot be ignored. If a weak person dares to pretend to be strong, or looks down on a strong person, then he is definitely not far from death. The majesty of the strong is not only reflected in the strong himself. In this strong system, other strong people do not need the strong person himself. They will stand up and overthrow the weak's opinions, and even deal with that weakling. Therefore, in this universe of strong people, no one dares to pretend to be strong, and no one dares to make fun of strong people, because no one knows whether the people around him who are a little stronger than themselves will be affected by their remarks. And attacking oneself, that's how it is in this world anyway. Therefore, if Jia Yan said that he was a galaxy level in front of so many people, then his words should not be false. What's more, looking at Jia Yan's strength, he wouldn't pretend to be this kind. Speaking of star level, it is absolutely shocking. Why bother to pretend to be galaxy level? So when he said that he was at the galaxy level and had the same strength as the leader of this starry sky, the primary being of the galaxy, the whole venue was completely silent, which scared everyone. Star galaxy level. Did I hear wrongly? Lord Jia Yan, he is actually at the galaxy level. You heard it right, and I heard it right too. Your Excellency is at the galaxy level. My God, I almost stopped breathing. I actually met and talked to a galaxy level person one day. This game is so awesome that even a galaxy level player came to play it. Ha ha ha, so we have been with a galaxy level adult for so long. Yes, sir, you also taught us how to fight together. We were actually taught by a galaxy level. No wonder my lord's joint fighting method is much stronger than the regular army in our starry sky. Star, galaxy level. What a terrifying strength this is. Play games with us. Each player was stunned, and then an extremely shocking noise broke out. After all, those who come to play games are almost all ordinary creatures. Every one of them, let alone a star-level creature, would be extremely excited to see a star-level creature in this life. This is still in this starry sky where there are many strong people. If it is placed in the Orion Arm Alliance, ordinary creatures can see a star and a half in their lifetime, which will make them extremely excited throughout their lives, and they can be with their children and grandchildren. Sun has been bragging for dozens or hundreds of years. Let alone the galaxy level. Okay, everyone, eat and drink well. After this meal, we will go our separate ways. I hope this game trip has brought you a good experience. See you in the future. Okay, see you in the world. Take care, sir. I hope your strength will reach a higher level. I wish you to reach the high level of the galaxy as soon as possible and be proud of the entire galaxy.